We see a young girl named Jae-hee who studies at a college and thinks of the probabilities of what can happen to her. However, she got alerts on her mobile about a game to empty the diamond cart because it had become full. She is sitting in her class, and she just forgot to keep her phone silent. Moreover, her friend taunts her for playing a trash game in which she has to mine diamonds all day. She asked Jae-hee why she cared if she was still playing the game or not. On the other hand, the game is trash in her friend's eyes, and the game's name is Infinite Diameter. It's a game with no story or world building. All the players have to do is collect diamonds by clicking that miners gather. The miners are called genomes. Furthermore, Jae-hee has been playing the game every day for 1 year, and she hasn't been bored with it for the whole year. Jae-hee only plays the game for one reason, which is a secret reward that she will get once she obtains 999,999,999,999 diamonds. Jae-hee is curious to know what the reward will be, and no one has achieved it yet. Jae-hee used to empty her diamond card for the whole year just to get the reward. Once a player starts the game, it becomes highly engaging and keeps them hooked until the end to get a reward. However, her friend suggested she play Terrarium Adventure with her instead, as it opens for pre-registered users because it's going to launch in the upcoming month. She told Jae-hee to register too, and she would do it for her. When she checked out the game, she found it's from the same developer as Infinite Dia. Moreover, her friend did her registration even without her permission. Jae-hee has doubts that when the new game Terrarium Adventure comes out, the Diamond Game server will go down. Jae-hee wants to achieve the reward as quickly as possible, even though she left the classes for it. She is thinking about the game and why a company would run a server for an unprofitable game. There are so many games she knows whose servers have stopped running after a year of operation, and they have put out notices of closure. In contrast, Jae-hee remembers the new game's visuals, which seem attractive. Jae-hee realizes that she has to empty her diamond cart twice a day, but at this rate, if the server goes down before she gets a reward, she finds only one answer: pay to win the game. Jae-hee spends the money on buying game stuff, which is a dumb idea as the game is about to be dead anytime soon. The miner's game starts mining so fast that she has to stare at her phone all the time. Moreover, she heard the alert sound, went to his room, and picked up her phone. She received a confirmation message of her pre-registration in the Terrarium Adventure game. The alert made her think about when she turned the silent mode off. Furthermore, Jae-hee gets another notification that her diamond cart is full and taps to collect the diamonds. It's the final cart that she has to empty to get the reward. The loading reaches 100%, she taps the cart, and she successfully collects 999 trillion diamonds for the achievement. Overall, all Jae-hee has to do now is receive the reward. She got a mystical key as a reward, which she wants to take a screenshot of but is unable to do so. Jae-hee is wondering if her phone is broken, and suddenly her phone brightness increases, blowing up her house. Jae-hee feels as if she is no longer in her home, and she ends up outside, where there is no tower that makes her think. She tries to use her phone to get her location, but her phone is dead now. Meanwhile, a man from inside a store said something rude to her aside from his manner, and she went out there. Also, another person understands her vagabond, and others let her think too. She sees herself in the mirror and finds her jacket trite, and she wonders where her beautiful, shiny jacket has gone. Additionally, she realizes the people around her are wearing weird clothes, and she knows in society they respect people according to their identities. She observes something really weird: bright-colored hair and even green skin. Jae-hee feels that she is crazy, and she feels like she is in an RPG game. Moreover, she spoke of a sale in which they are selling upgrade stones for 19 diamonds cheaper than the district price and appraising weapons for 3 diamonds. They are selling homemade potions cheaper than the options at Alchemist Tower, which are 5 diamonds per bottle. However, she doesn't understand why she is actually able to hear things. Maybe because she went mad about Infinite Diameter. Jae-hee was shocked to see them using game diamonds. She heard the sound, "Master," but she couldn't believe it. Until she heard them again, and they were asking her if she needed diamonds. She realizes that the sound is coming from her phone, and her phone opens. Surprisingly, she sees the miners on her phone and asks them why they are here. Jae-hee is just shocked to see the game appear on her mobile, which was dead. However, Jae-hee was relieved as her phone turned on. But on the other hand, there was something strange. The people in the game were talking not only to her but even looking at her, which scared her even more. The miners of the game ask her if she needs diamonds, and they tell her that the cart is full of diamonds and they have a lot of diamonds stored in the underground warehouse. Additionally, the miners tell her that in the fountain, the diamonds are coming out instead of gravel, and all the diamonds are for her. Jae-hee can use as much as she wants without even thinking. The miners want her to use the diamonds, but she is stuck thinking they are game diamonds and how she can use them. Jae-hee asked the miners when they became aware and how they could provide her with diamonds. They explained to her that they are their wallet, and if she wants to go on an adventure, then she will need a lot of diamonds. However, Jae-hees are not getting the answers to their questions. Miners are talking only about diamonds. Jae-hee wants to know her location, so she asks miners. They don't even know what she is talking about, but they suggest she use diamonds to solve her doubts. Jae-hee is frustrated now, and she knows that the game is not Infinite Dia, where doubts can be solved with diamonds. Jae-hee asked them how to get diamonds after they understood. In the meantime, a girl named Daisy came, and Jae-hee asked her if she would accept anything other than bread. Daisy tells Jae-hee that even a cup of clean water will be sufficient, or that because of the fire, the water sources in the town have become dry. Jae-hee tells her she does not have any water or bread, and she doesn't have anything through which she can get money. All Jae-hee has is her phone, and a few diamonds drop from it, which shocked her because there is functionality like that in the phone. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she accepts diamonds, but she rejects them and explains that it is too much for her. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her in exchange for diamonds, but she tells her that she doesn't have any skills that can protect her. Finally, Daisy accepts the bread from Jae-hee that she bought. Daisy gets that it's the first time for a Jae-hee. She tells Jae-hee that the town in which they are standing belongs to the Green Tree branch, so the situation of the town is much better than others. Jae-hee wants to ask Daisy a few questions, but she doesn't ask, seeing the desperateness of her eating the bread. Jae-hee bought 3 pieces of bread and 2 bottles of milk and 1 diamond. That's cheap for Jae-hee. Jae-hee can't carry the bread in her pocket, even though she doesn't feel the weight of the bread. She is going away from reality. Daisy takes Jae-hee to an inn, and the owner is so kind. Daisy says thanks and is about to leave, but Jae-hee asks her to work for her as she needs her help. Daisy reminds Jae-hee again that she doesn't have any skills with which she can protect her. Jae-hee tells Daisy that she is the only one who can help her, but although she doesn't understand exactly what Jae-hee means. Jae-hee gets an idea that kidnappers use, and she asks Daisy to eat with her and tell her about the place because she doesn't know about the town. Thus, Daisy agrees to help her, and they go to the restaurant, but she has doubts that she can buy a meal with the leftover diamonds. She was shocked to see that she still had diamonds in her phone wallet. Jae-hee uses her phone to get diamonds, while the miners offer her more and suggest that she buy clothes, weapons, an inn, and hire mercenaries. She is still unable to believe that it's from Infinite Dia. Jae-hee finally believes that these were from the Infinite Diameter. Additionally, she ordered a delicious meal that made Daisy's eyes light up. She wants to comfort her to ask questions, that's why she treats her best. Daisy, likewise, waits for Jae-hee to eat as a matter of manners and discipline. Jae-hee feels like a noble hearing Daisy. Moreover, Jae-hee asks Daisy why she calls her Druid, while she is not hungry, and Daisy cross-questioned her, saying that she doesn't come to this town to go for adventure, and other people don't go to other towns because of fire danger. Daisy tells her that the branch of the World Tree also bears fruit. In addition, Jae-hee accepts herself as a druid and whatever Daisy tells her. Consequently, Jae-hee tells Daisy a secret, that she is very rich, and she tells her that she can be cheated by people because she doesn't have much knowledge about the common people's lives. Therefore, Jae-hee asks her again for help, and Daisy agrees to help her with the knowledge she has. As a result, Daisy is slowly starting to feel comfortable now with Jae-hee, but Jae-hee is wondering if the diamonds she is spending on her really make sense to her. However, Jae-hee offers Daisy the chance to eat as much food as she wants. On the other hand, Daisy is ready to answer Jae-hee's queries, and they get a seat at the corner, but she even does not know if it's common sense or not. In contrast, Jae-hee is really confused, and she starts with the simplest question about the place they are in. Daisy tells her that the place is the 26th terrarium of the World Tree. Whereas, hearing this, Jae-hee realized that it couldn't be a place in Korea that made her so tense that she ended up in a weird place. Furthermore, the number of the terrarium means that the place belongs to the 26th branch of the World Tree. The smaller the number, the closer we are to the World Tree, and the bigger the number, the farther we are. This place is close to the World Tree compared to others, so it can be affected directly by the World Tree. That's why the town is saved from the fire, but if one steps out of the town, they can be attacked by the fire. Jae-hee really doesn't understand her, even though she ends up with more questions about whether the world tree and the fire Daisy is talking about are the same as the ones Jae-hee understands. However, Jae-hee makes Daisy feel that she is really helpful to her. Daisy is familiar with her, and Jae-hee is about to ask something. Meanwhile, a man steps into the restaurant and is looking for an inn to reach somewhere soon. He saw Daisy's red hair and scolded her to get out of the restaurant because the color red is inauspicious to him. Jae-hee stops her, but he is about to hurt Daisy. Seeing it, the owner of the inn lifts him up and throws him out. He tells the owner that he is a druid, and only the dryads can save them from fire. He tells the owner that a town that is not far away, succumbed, was attacked by the fire, and now it is nothing more than ashes. He tries to explain his value and how they should treat him. Jae-hee understands that they meant red-hot burning, but it seems the fire is like a monster. The owner explains to him that the fire doesn't matter where the business is, and if he creates chaos, then they have no option other than throwing him out. He takes his leave, saying this terrarium will regret it. Jae-hee tells Daisy to ignore guys like him, but she seems to be in shock, so she orders a glass of water, which costs extra because the water sources are dried up because of the fire. The price is a diamond for a bottle of water. Jae-hee gives her a glass of water to Daisy to drink, and she gets emotional because she is treated far better than the people who repair town walls. Jae-hee puts her hand on her head and makes her feel warmth. Daisy thanks her, and Jae-hee thinks about what the man earlier said, that the terrarium will be the one that regrets it. She feels that the druids, who put out fires, are important here. Finally, Jae-hee realized that the words sounded familiar, and when she thought deeply, she found that it was a game that her friend wanted her to pre-register for. Terrarium Adventure, and the words were written in the confirmation text in the message that she got earlier before coming into this place. She realizes that she is in the game, but virtual reality games have not been invented yet. Even Terrarium Adventure, a mobile game, is not out yet. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she can check her phone and repair it, as it was made with the miners called genomes. She remembers that her phone is her wallet now, and she asks Daisy if she has one, but she doesn't have enough diamonds that she needs. Jae-hee accepts the reality that this is a different world. As she thinks that she is in the game, her curiosity to know more is even greater. Jae-hee wants to know more about the game, and she is really excited about it. Additionally, her mind popped out with a lot of questions. If in this game she can level up, what's the goal, and is there any achievement system? She wonders if she can learn skills and put out the fire. Daisy asks her if she is scared, as Jae-hees can get a chance to go on adventures, but Jae-hee doesn't know the risks and dangers that one can face on the adventure. Furthermore, Daisy tells her how dangerous adventure is. In the village, there are many children who lose their parents because of the fire, and Daisy also loses her parents and becomes an orphan. Jae-hee apologizes to her if she freshens her wounds, but Daisy is kind-hearted. She doesn't feel bad. Daisy lives in a community center that is open to all orphans. Jae-hee realized that fire is a big social issue in this world, but it's also an issue in the original world too. Jae-hee compares firefighters to dryads, as their purposes are similar. Additionally, Jae-hee asks Daisy why the dryads are the only ones who can put out the fire. Therefore, she replies that they are born from the world tree and they have special powers. They are different from ordinary plants, which can't beat fire. Jae-hee remembers the guy who messed up earlier. From the game's perspective, it might be a town for newbies to start the game, and as she is just starting the game, she has nothing. Jae-hee knows she will be able to pull out dryads soon, as seen on the first page of the game. In conclusion, Jae-hee asks Daisy curiously what she has to do first to pull out dryad. Daisy tells her to wake up early in the morning. Tomorrow, she has to go to the orchard, a place where she can pick apples and pears. It sounds like a farming game. The owner of the place informed her that it is the time to close the restaurant, but Jae-hee is still left with many questions. Moreover, Jae-hee wants to wake up early, but she is not a morning person, and she can't wake on her own, otherwise she'd be sleeping. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her until tomorrow and offers her a part-time job. The owner of the place suggested Jae-hee hire a professional instead of Daisy, as she is a child. In spite of it, Jae-hee wants a little help, so she prefers Daisy. Daisy mistakenly reveals Jae-hee's wealth, and the owner asks if she is a noble and how she came to a place like here, and Jae-hee gives her reasons. Jae-hee feels comfortable with Daisy, but the owner questions her if she looks into Daisy's eyes and just changes the topic. Consequently, there is an extra charge for Daisy to stay at the inn. but she says she would sleep outside. However, Jae-hee shows her kindness and pays for her morning meal, and even 3 bottles of water. The owner suggested Daisy follow Jae-hee's instructions, as Daisy generally has to sleep in a cold and narrow place. Moreover, Daisy showed her concern that he had used too many diamonds on her. Jae-hee is not worried about the diamonds, as she has a lot of them, and they even increase when she taps the cart. She couldn't even spend all the diamonds if she had to spend her life here. Jae-hee becomes a trillionaire overnight. All she has done is tap the cart in the original world. The diamonds drop more than needed from that phone, as her cart is full. It's the first time Daisy gets a chance to sleep on a soft bed. Daisy never gets paid that much, and she always has to worry about tomorrow's meal and water. Now that she's got all that, it feels like a dream to her. A dream from which she never wants to wake up. They say goodnight to each other, and Daisy assures Jae-hee to wake her up. In the morning, the orchard is shining golden, which amazes both, and there is a crowd with noise there. That concludes part 1 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 2 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. We see a young girl named Jae-hee who studies at a college and thinks of the probabilities of what can happen to her. However, she got alerts on her mobile about a game to empty the diamond cart because it had become full. She is sitting in her class, and she just forgot to keep her phone silent. Moreover, her friend taunts her for playing a trash game in which she has to mine diamonds all day. She asked Jae-hee why she cared if she was still playing the game or not. On the other hand, the game is trash in her friend's eyes, and the game's name is Infinite Diameter. It's a game with no story or world building. All the players have to do is collect diamonds by clicking that miners gather. The miners are called genomes. Furthermore, Jae-hee has been playing the game every day for 1 year, and she hasn't been bored with it for the whole year. Jae-hee only plays the game for one reason, which is a secret reward that she will get once she obtains 999,999,999,999 diamonds. Jae-hee is curious to know what the reward will be, and no one has achieved it yet. Jae-hee used to empty her diamond card for the whole year just to get the reward. Once a player starts the game, it becomes highly engaging and keeps them hooked until the end to get a reward. However, her friend suggested she play Terrarium Adventure with her instead, as it opens for pre-registered users because it's going to launch in the upcoming month. She told Jae-hee to register too, and she would do it for her. When she checked out the game, she found it's from the same developer as Infinite Dia. Moreover, her friend did her registration even without her permission. Jae-hee has doubts that when the new game Terrarium Adventure comes out, the Diamond Game server will go down. Jae-hee wants to achieve the reward as quickly as possible, even though she left the classes for it. She is thinking about the game and why a company would run a server for an unprofitable game. There are so many games she knows whose servers have stopped running after a year of operation, and they have put out notices of closure. In contrast, Jae-hee remembers the new game's visuals, which seem attractive. Jae-hee realizes that she has to empty her diamond cart twice a day, but at this rate, if the server goes down before she gets a reward, she finds only one answer: pay to win the game. Jae-hee spends the money on buying game stuff, which is a dumb idea as the game is about to be dead anytime soon. The miner's game starts mining so fast that she has to stare at her phone all the time. Moreover, she heard the alert sound, went to his room, and picked up her phone. She received a confirmation message of her pre-registration in the Terrarium Adventure game. The alert made her think about when she turned the silent mode off. Furthermore, Jae-hee gets another notification that her diamond cart is full and taps to collect the diamonds. It's the final cart that she has to empty to get the reward. The loading reaches 100%, she taps the cart, and she successfully collects 999 trillion diamonds for the achievement. Overall, all Jae-hee has to do now is receive the reward. She got a mystical key as a reward, which she wants to take a screenshot of but is unable to do so. Jae-hee is wondering if her phone is broken, and suddenly her phone brightness increases, blowing up her house. Jae-hee feels as if she is no longer in her home, and she ends up outside, where there is no tower that makes her think. She tries to use her phone to get her location, but her phone is dead now. Meanwhile, a man from inside a store said something rude to her aside from his manner, and she went out there. Also, another person understands her vagabond, and others let her think too. She sees herself in the mirror and finds her jacket trite, and she wonders where her beautiful, shiny jacket has gone. Additionally, she realizes the people around her are wearing weird clothes, and she knows in society they respect people according to their identities. She observes something really weird: bright-colored hair and even green skin. Jae-hee feels that she is crazy, and she feels like she is in an RPG game. Moreover, she spoke of a sale in which they are selling upgrade stones for 19 diamonds cheaper than the district price and appraising weapons for 3 diamonds. They are selling homemade potions cheaper than the options at Alchemist Tower, which are 5 diamonds per bottle. However, she doesn't understand why she is actually able to hear things. Maybe because she went mad about infinite diameter. Jae-hee was shocked to see them using game diamonds. She heard the sound. Master! But she couldn't believe it. Until she heard them again, and they were asking her if she needed diamonds. She realizes that the sound is coming from her phone, and her phone opens. Surprisingly, she sees the miners on her phone and asks them why they are here. Jae-hee is just shocked to see the game appear on her mobile, which was dead. However, Jae-hee was relieved as her phone turned on. But on the other hand, there was something strange. The people in the game were talking not only to her but even looking at her, which scared her even more. The miners of the game ask her if she needs diamonds, and they tell her that the cart is full of diamonds and they have a lot of diamonds stored in the underground warehouse. Additionally, the miners tell her that in the fountain, the diamonds are coming out instead of gravel, and all the diamonds are for her. Jae-hee can use as much as she wants without even thinking. The miners want her to use the diamonds, but she is stuck thinking they are game diamonds and how she can use them. Jae-hee asked the miners when they became aware and how they could provide her with diamonds. They explained to her that they are their wallet, and if she wants to go on an adventure, then she will need a lot of diamonds. However, Jae-hees are not getting the answers to their questions. Miners are talking only about diamonds. Jae-hee wants to know her location, so she asks miners. They don't even know what she is talking about, but they suggest she use diamonds to solve her doubts. Jae-hee is frustrated now, and she knows that the game is not infinite dia, where doubts can be solved with diamonds. Jae-hee asked them how to get diamonds after they understood. In the meantime, a girl named Daisy came, and Jae-hee asked her if she would accept anything other than bread. Daisy tells Jae-hee that even a cup of clean water will be sufficient, or that because of the fire, the water sources in the town have become dry. Jae-hee tells her she does not have any water or bread, and she doesn't have anything through which she can get money. All Jae-hee has is her phone, and a few diamonds drop from it, which shocked her because there is functionality like that in the phone. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she accepts diamonds, but she rejects them and explains that it is too much for her. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her in exchange for diamonds, but she tells her that she doesn't have any skills that can protect her. Finally, Daisy accepts the bread from Jae-hee that she bought. Daisy gets that it's the first time for a Jae-hee. She tells Jae-hee that the town in which they are standing belongs to the Green Tree branch, so the situation of the town is much better than others. Jae-hee wants to ask Daisy a few questions, but she doesn't ask, seeing the desperateness of her eating the bread. Jae-hee bought 3 pieces of bread and 2 bottles of milk and 1 diamond. That's cheap for Jae-hee. Jae-hee can't carry the bread in her pocket, even though she doesn't feel the weight of the bread. She is going away from reality. Daisy takes Jae-hee to an inn, and the owner is so kind. Daisy says thanks and is about to leave, but Jae-hee asks her to work for her as she needs her help. Daisy reminds Jae-hee again that she doesn't have any skills with which she can protect her. Jae-hee tells Daisy that she is the only one who can help her, but although she doesn't understand exactly what Jae-hee means. Jae-hee gets an idea that kidnappers use, and she asks Daisy to eat with her and tell her about the place because she doesn't know about the town. Thus, Daisy agrees to help her, and they go to the restaurant, but she has doubts that she can buy a meal with the leftover diamonds. She was shocked to see that she still had diamonds in her phone wallet. Jae-hee uses her phone to get diamonds, while the miners offer her more and suggest that she buy clothes, weapons, an inn, and hire mercenaries. She is still unable to believe that it's from Infinite Dia. Jae-hee finally believes that these were from the Infinite Diameter. Additionally, she ordered a delicious meal that made Daisy's eyes light up. She wants to comfort her to ask questions, that's why she treats her best. Daisy, likewise, waits for Jae-hee to eat as a matter of manners and discipline. Jae-hee feels like a noble hearing Daisy. Moreover, Jae-hee asks Daisy why she calls her Druid, while she is not hungry, and Daisy cross-questioned her, saying that she doesn't come to this town to go for adventure, and other people don't go to other towns because of fire danger. Daisy tells her that the branch of the World Tree also bears fruit. In addition, Jae-hee accepts herself as a druid and whatever Daisy tells her. Consequently, Jae-hee tells Daisy a secret, that she is very rich, and she tells her that she can be cheated by people because she doesn't have much knowledge about the common people's lives. Therefore, Jae-hee asks her again for help, and Daisy agrees to help her with the knowledge she has. As a result, Daisy is slowly starting to feel comfortable now with Jae-hee. But Jae-hee is wondering if the diamonds she is spending on her really make sense to her. However, Jae-hee offers Daisy the chance to eat as much food as she wants. On the other hand, Daisy is ready to answer Jae-hee's queries, and they get a seat at the corner, but she even does not know if it's common sense or not. In contrast, Jae-hee is really confused, and she starts with the simplest question about the place they are in. Daisy tells her that the place is the 26th terrarium of the World Tree. Whereas, hearing this, Jae-hee realized that it couldn't be a place in Korea that made her so tense that she ended up in a weird place. Furthermore, the number of the terrarium means that the place belongs to the 26th branch of the World Tree. The smaller the number, the closer we are to the World Tree, and the bigger the number, the farther we are. This place is close to the World Tree compared to others, so it can be affected directly by the World Tree. That's why the town is saved from the fire. But if one steps out of the town, they can be attacked by the fire. Jae-hee really doesn't understand her, even though she ends up with more questions about whether the World Tree and the fire Daisy is talking about are the same as the ones Jae-hee understands. However, Jae-hee makes Daisy feel that she is really helpful to her. Daisy is familiar with her, and Jae-hee is about to ask something. Meanwhile, a man steps into the restaurant and is looking for an inn to reach somewhere soon. He saw Daisy's red hair and scolded her to get out of the restaurant because the color red is inauspicious to him. Jae-hee stops her, but he is about to hurt Daisy. Seeing it, the owner of the inn lifts him up and throws him out. He tells the owner that he is a druid, and only the dryads can save them from fire. He tells the owner that a town that is not far away, succumbed, was attacked by the fire, and now it is nothing more than ashes. He tries to explain his value and how they should treat him. Jae-hee understands that they meant red-hot burning, but it seems the fire is like a monster. The owner explains to him that the fire doesn't matter where the business is, and if he creates chaos, then they have no option other than throwing him out. He takes his leave, saying this terrarium will regret it. Jae-hee tells Daisy to ignore guys like him, but she seems to be in shock, so she orders a glass of water, which costs extra because the water sources are dried up because of the fire. The price is a diamond for a bottle of water. Jae-hee gives her a glass of water to Daisy to drink, and she gets emotional because she is treated far better than the people who repair town walls. Jae-hee puts her hand on her head and makes her feel warmth. Daisy thanks her, and Jae-hee thinks about what the man earlier said, that the terrarium will be the one that regrets it. She feels that the druids, who put out fires, are important here. Finally, Jae-hee realized that the words sounded familiar, and when she thought deeply, she found that it was a game that her friend wanted her to pre-register for. Terrarium Adventure. And the words were written in the confirmation text in the message that she got earlier before coming into this place. She realizes that she is in the game, but virtual reality games have not been invented yet. Even Terrarium Adventure, a mobile game, is not out yet. Jae-hee asks Daisy if she can check her phone and repair it, as it was made with the miners called genomes. She remembers that her phone is her wallet now, and she asks Daisy if she has one, but she doesn't have enough diamonds that she needs. Jae-hee accepts the reality that this is a different world. As she thinks that she is in the game, her curiosity to know more is even greater. Jae-hee wants to know more about the game, and she is really excited about it. Additionally, her mind popped out with a lot of questions. If in this game she can level up, what's the goal, and is there any achievement system? She wonders if she can learn skills and put out the fire. Daisy asks her if she is scared, as Jae-hees can get a chance to go on adventures, but Jae-hee doesn't know the risks and dangers that one can face on the adventure. Furthermore, Daisy tells her how dangerous adventure is. In the village, there are many children who lose their parents because of the fire, and Daisy also loses her parents and becomes an orphan. Jae-hee apologizes to her if she freshens her wounds, but Daisy is kind-hearted. She doesn't feel bad. Daisy lives in a community center that is open to all orphans. Jae-hee realized that fire is a big social issue in this world, but it's also an issue in the original world too. Jae-hee compares firefighters to dryads, as their purposes are similar. Additionally, Jae-hee asks Daisy why the dryads are the only ones who can put out the fire. Therefore, she replies that they are born from the world tree and they have special powers. They are different from ordinary plants, which can't beat fire. Jae-hee remembers the guy who messed up earlier. From the game's perspective, it might be a town for newbies to start the game, and as she is just starting the game, she has nothing. Jae-hee knows she will be able to pull out Dryad soon, as seen on the first page of the game. In conclusion, Jae-hee asks Daisy curiously what she has to do first to pull out Dryad. Daisy tells her to wake up early in the morning. Tomorrow, she has to go to the orchard, a place where she can pick apples and pears. It sounds like a farming game. The owner of the place informed her that it is the time to close the restaurant, but Jae-hee is still left with many questions. Moreover, Jae-hee wants to wake up early, but she is not a morning person, and she can't wake on her own, otherwise she'd be sleeping. Jae-hee asks Daisy to help her until tomorrow and offers her a part-time job. The owner of the place suggested Jae-hee hire a professional instead of Daisy, as she is a child. In spite of it, Jae-hee wants a little help, so she prefers Daisy. Daisy mistakenly reveals Jae-hee's wealth, and the owner asks if she is a noble and how she came to a place like here, and Jae-hee gives her reasons. Jae-hee feels comfortable with Daisy, but the owner questions her if she looks into Daisy's eyes and just changes the topic. Consequently, there is an extra charge for Daisy to stay at the inn, but she says she would sleep outside. However, Jae-hee shows her kindness and pays for her inn, morning meal, and even 3 bottles of water. The owner suggested Daisy follow Jae-hee's instructions, as Daisy generally has to sleep in a cold and narrow place. Moreover, Daisy showed her concern that he had used too many diamonds on her. Jae-hee is not worried about the diamonds, as she has a lot of them, and they even increase when she taps the cart. She couldn't even spend all the diamonds if she had to spend her life here. Jae-hee becomes a trillionaire overnight. All she has done is tap the cart in the original world. The diamonds drop more than needed from that phone, as her cart is full. It's the first time Daisy gets a chance to sleep on a soft bed. Daisy never gets paid that much, and she always has to worry about tomorrow's meal and water. Now that she's got all that, it feels like a dream to her. A dream from which she never wants to wake up. They say goodnight to each other, and Daisy assures Jae-hee to wake her up. In the morning, the orchard is shining golden, which amazes both, and there is a crowd with noise there. That concludes part 1 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 2 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time, Jae-hee and Daisy reached the orchard, but there were many people. Additionally, it seems like a tourist place. Daisy apologizes to Jae-hee for bringing her late, while she is not going to wake up, even though Daisy tried. Jae-hee lifts Daisy up, scared of her swiping away from the crowd, but Daisy doesn't want to be a burden for Jae-hee. Jae-hee understands that all are druids here, but Daisy explains to her that there are a lot of specters too. Jae-hee is thinking about getting a number. Moreover, a lady asks her if she needs help. Jae-hee told her that she wanted numbers, and the lady told her that the free numbers were already given. Hearing this, Daisy tells Jae-hee that if they are unable to get it today, then they have to wait for a year, and she asks if they have paid passes. They get diamond passes and enter the orchid. The lady explains to her that the world tree bears food once a year. Hence, they have very limited free passes, and because of that, some people even come 3 days before to get a number. She is astounded to see the fruits of the world tree. Furthermore, other people see her with a smirk, and Jae-hee finds the environment unpleasant. Everyone is feeling different emotions. Some want a rare dryad, while others are not expecting anything special or unique. Daisy is just expecting normal. There is someone who has gotten the unique, and the possibility of getting more than one unique from the same tree branch is nearly 0. Some are confused and want to give up. The dryads have different rarities, and one can get them by drawing from the world tree. It's something like a character card one can get by drawing from the world tree. Jae-hee doesn't like gacha, a type of video game, but now she has a lot of money, and she was always covetous of those who spent on gacha without even thinking. However, Daisy is nervous because it's her first time and because of the environment. Jae-hee cheers up Daisy and asks her if they should go to draw fruits. Otherwise, she will give her diamonds instead to make her happy. But Daisy declines to get diamonds and shows her feelings that Jae-hee is enough for her. They are ready to go to draw the fruit. Jae-hee asks the lady when she should pay the diamonds, but the lady told her that once she gets fruit, she can pay because they have to maintain the balance of the orchard, which is done with the diamonds. One fruit costs 300 diamonds, and knowing the cost made her understand why a person earlier said that he had sold the land, because if a fruit costs 3 diamonds, then it's equivalent to 900 pieces of bread and 600 bottles of milk. But Jaehee doesn't need to worry about that because she has lots of diamonds. Two druids are discussing the colors of the fruits. One is glossy and the other is weird to them, but for Jaehee, they all look the same. Nonetheless, Daisy is still sad, so Jaehee pushes her forward to pick fruit for her, which surprises her, but Jaehee tells her not to worry and pick anyone. Daisy is about to pick them up, but in the meantime, the same guy who messed up with Daisy came there and stopped them. That guy asks them how many fruits they are about to pick up, but Jaehee doesn't understand why he wants to know. The guy says that it's important for him. He is about to pick one with his lucky number, and when someone chooses one, it will match his number. Till now, he seems like a superstitious guy to Jaehee, but after hearing this, he is just a crazy guy in her eyes. The guy loses his sanity and scolds Daisy because of her red hair color. His plan is ruined, and he becomes late for the orchard. He forced her to collaborate with him and match his lucky number. However, Jaehee becomes angry at the guy scolds Daisy for her red hair color, forcing her to hide her hair. His words hit Jaehee, and she becomes angry at him for his rude behavior with Daisy. Jaehee's head is hot, and she is raining on the guy for talking rudely and nonsensically to Daisy. Additionally, Jaehee is not in a mood to tolerate him anymore. Jaehee rudely told him that if he is going to believe in succinct superstitious things, then nothing is going to be better for him. Moreover, Jaehee, with the swagger, questions him, saying that if he wants to get a number, why doesn't he pay twice for the number? Arrogantly, the guy asked her if he knew the price of a fruit, and she rudely told him that 300 diamonds were expensive for him, not for her, and why did they need to tolerate the attitude of someone as poor as him? Others are just understanding that Jaehee is just showing off while they are unaware of the quantity of diamonds she has. In addition, Jaehee told Daisy to pick one, and she feels the fruit is warm. Jaehee picks the 5 of them, and she has to pay 1,500 diamonds for it. Jaehee uses her mobile wallet and tells the miners to drop the whole cart of diamonds, which left all the people shocked. The diamonds exceed, and she pays a few more, gets another number, and tells Daisy to pick another one as she is lucky. Daisy picks another one, and the guy is burning with anger, but he is helpless now in front of a diamond-rich person. The lady walks them to the greenhouse. Furthermore, Jaehee is feeling awesome after spending that many diamonds and just zipped off the guy's mouth. In all honesty, Jaehee was on the verge of bursting when she counterattacked him. Jaehee will never be able to do that if she is in the past. She is feeling confident because she has lots of money. They reach the greenhouse, and there is a place where, if one puts dryads, they will bloom. Additionally, they can also get the genetic information of the fruit through the stone plate that is placed next to it. The world tree has the genetic information of every dryad in the world. All dryads are born through the fruits of the world tree. No one can say what type of dryad it will be until it's fully bloomed in the greenhouse. However, through the stone plate, one can know the genetic information in advance during the germination stage of the fruit. Furthermore, dryad's grade depends on the genetic information. The more rare and valuable the information, the higher the grade will be. If dryad genetic information is not valuable, then one can stop it from blooming, and it can be used as a normal fertilizer, which means it can be used as a source of nutrients for dryads of higher grades. Daisy seems to be uncomfortable hearing that and takes her leave, excusing her for something urgent. Moreover, Jaehee puts the fruit on the stone plate, and she is very excited to know about it, but there is no data in it. The lady tells her it's a fruit with no dryad information. She tried 3 more, and all were found to be bummers with no dryad information. She is disappointed, but the lady tells her she can sell these bummers and pick up another fruit. Additionally, she has so many diamonds that even she can buy all the fruits outside, but she wants to try those that Daisy has picked. She prayed for its first dryad, and she wants to raise it, whether she has to buy anything for it. The fruit cracks, and it's an elderflower with the title, Gift from God, Language, Devotion, Habit, Normal, and Values, Medicinal, Safety, and Charm. Jaehee always keeps the things with her that are first for her, even though she can't use them anymore. Additionally, she didn't sell or throw them, but she kept all that with her. This time, the dryad also came first to her, which makes it special for her. Moreover, the final rank of the dryad is confirmed as unique, which makes her superbly happy. The dryad has the recovery and support attributes that make it rare. This dryad might be able to help her in combat, and the lady asked her if she wanted to bloom it immediately. Furthermore, the dryad is a healer, and in Jaehee's eyes, it is important because a healer brings the entire team up. The lady asked Jae-hee to show her terrarium artifact. She is just confusingly smiling because she doesn't have anything like that, and she asked the lady if she doesn't have a terrarium artifact. So does that mean she is not a druid? But nothing is like that. Her expectations are broken, but hope lights up when the lady tells her that her concerns are right, but she lacks knowledge. She tells her that she is definitely druid because she has communicated with a dryad, and a dryad can only converse with a dryad. Normal people can't talk to dryad, even if he understands them, but conversation is not possible between them. Even dryad looks like a human, but their true form is a plant. Additionally, a druid is blessed by the world tree. That's why a druid can talk to nature and is able to talk to dryads. The lady tells Jae-hee that Daisy is also a dryad that left Jae-hee shocked. Jae-hee realized Daisy's name is related to daisy flowers, and when she thought deeply, she found she had no memory of her talking to any human. The daisy plant species is common, and the lady confirmed that Daisy is dryad. The lady assumed Jae-hee had done soul linking seeing Daisy with her, but when she left, the lady reconsidered. Jae-hee is feeling confused by all of that, but knowing that Daisy is a dryad, she wants to find her. Moreover, the lady tells her that she already has the terrarium artifact. She just didn't realize it yet. Dryads can't live long after being separated from the world tree, and a druid must provide an environment for dryads similar to the world tree. A druid itself becomes a small tree for dryads. Druids are needed to provide a piece of their soul as a place of rest. Jae-hee has a lack of knowledge, but she still tries. Jae-hee closed her eyes and started thinking about world tree blessings, but the lady guided her to feel the environment of the greenhouse in her body, which is created as the image of the world tree. She feels the fresh air, warm light, cool smell of the pond, and fragrance of the dirt. Furthermore, Jae-hee finally did it and got a bracelet that is her terrarium artifact. She touched the terrarium once, and they got into it, which is a place for dryads to rest when they get injured. The place is connected to druids, which makes dryads feel comfortable. Jae-hee is full of energy now and wants to collect dryads in her terrarium. The lady guides her to bloom the seed in her hand with the help of a terrarium artifact. The seed imprints on the soul of the one who touches it first when it blooms. The seed blooms, a handsome, golden shining personality appears, and he realizes that Jae-hee has bloomed him. Dryad is so rude that his words pierce Jae-hee's heart. Additionally, Jae-hee is not expecting any such rude behavior, as Daisy is far better than him. The lady says it depends on the level of closeness, as the dryad just came to this world and everything is new to him. Furthermore, the dryad insulted Jae-hee about her clothes and money. Dryad made his wish that he wants a druid that treats him well and is so rich that it can provide a temple built of gold. Moreover, the dryad is so selfish, and the lady says there might be a way to increase the level of closeness. The dryad said he wants to go back to the world tree until the right owner, who deserves him, arrives. The lady tells the consequences that if a dryad wants to go back, the soul link is disconnected and it has to face the pain of being rotten and cold, then it returns to the world tree. But it's far better in Dryad's eyes than being with Jae-hee. The Dryad called Jae-hee poor, which made her angry, and she dropped some diamonds that filled the room. Additionally, Jae-hee offers him a bunch of diamonds throwing on the ground and asks him to take them on his knees, and he really kneels down to pick up the diamonds. He asked with cuteness if Jae-hee was really giving him diamonds. Jae-hee said yes because his face was so pretty that she couldn't deny him. The Dryad accepts Jae-hee as his master when she gives him diamonds. He feels like a dog trainer. Furthermore, Jae-hee wants to bloom the left fruits, but hearing this elderflower, first Dryad, puts an objection that she needs more while he is perfect. Elderflower just expressed objection because he doesn't want Jae-hee to use diamonds on other Dryads, but she ensures him that she has enough diamonds to fill his pockets. Jae-hee put the next fruit on the stone plate, and the rank was confirmed as special, which blew her mind. Jae-hee got a special Dryad, and it has been 10 years since a special Dryad appeared. Additionally, the Dryad's name is Velvet Mesquite with the language, tenacious heart, habitat, desert field, values, safety, and attributes of defense and support. Special rank is higher than the unique rank, and Jae-hee is not expecting anything amazing to happen to him that she will get special rank Dryad. Moreover, Jae-hee is confused if the rank is inverse of the personality, as Elderflower seems to be inverse of his grade. She is scared that this dragon will hit her or treat her badly. The lady is excited, so she asked her to bloom it without wasting any time. Furthermore, Jaehee had no deer because she has nothing to lose whether any dryad appears with the trash personality because the diamond can surpass them. Jaehee touches the seed, putting it on her palm, and it flies up, and a golden light comes from it. It feels hot, like the winds of the desert are coming from it. Elderflower comes forward and uses his barrier to protect Jaehee from the hot winds. A knight with a big weapon comes out of the golden light, and Jaehee is amazed to see it. The velvet mesquite sees her, and Jaehee feels a wave of fear seeing its shield and weapon. Additionally, velvet mesquite moves forward to Jaehee, and she scares her like it's about to hit her, but it puts off the shield and weapon and removes his helmet. Velvet mesquite is revealed to be a lady, and she kneels down and picks up Jaehee's hand. It has been decades since she has seen any druid, but this time she sees a weak and thin druid. Velvet mesquite tells her that she will protect the one who will be her master until the day she returns to the dust. Jaehee feels awesome hearing her words, and Elderflower asks Velvet why she appeared again, as according to him, she has gone extinct. Furthermore, Velvet is curious to know who Elderflower is, but she knows him from before. Velvet tells them she is not extinct, she just returned to the world tree, giving a reason that her previous druid thinks she still has work left to do. Elderflower tells Velvet that he is the first dryad of Jaehee, but it doesn't matter for her as being on the Jaehee side is sufficient for her. In addition, Velvet asked Jaehee her name, and she told her, Jae, as she always used this name in the games and it was suitable for her. Velvet calls her Jae and promises to protect her, and Jaehee is just feeling awesome with the Velvet behavior. Jaehee thinks as a human that she knows the time to go or stop, so shouldn't she go and try to pull more fruits through which she might be able to meet more handsome and beautiful dryads? Jaehee is thinking all of that, and her head suddenly. Jaehee is about to fall, but Velvet grabs her, and Jaehee seems weak, but Elderflower puts his hand on her head and heals her. Jaehee specializes in healing dryads, but his healing powers work on humans too. Jaehee feels far better than she was feeling, and Elderflower puts a price of 100 diamonds for it but takes his words back, telling her it was a joke. She falls weak because she has reached her soul limits. As we know, druids and dryads are connected by souls, and for that, one has to become a small world tree itself and share their powers with them. The power is that soul power that one has to share. Moreover, the higher the grades of the dryads, the more soul power is needed to share. If Jaehee gets more dryads at this time, her body will not be able to bear it. As she knows, she just got shocked and remembered the cost system, which is that no matter the space one has for the characters, one can only choose a character according to their cost. For example, if the cost is 30, then one can only choose the characters whose combined cost will not exceed 30. Jaehee wants to fill her terrarium artifact with the dryads, but her dreams seem to be broken for now. Additionally, Jaehee can build his soul power by spending her time with dryads, and the quickest way is to fight in the battles with her dryads. In simple words, it means that she has to level up while still having lots of diamonds, but the diamonds can't be of help in this case. Jaehee is now happy with one unique and special dryad, and she wants to meet Daisy. Velvet is well behaved with Jaehee, which fills her eyes with tears of happiness. Jaehee wants to see her dryads in the terrarium artifact, and Velvet just went to the side, and she got smaller. Jaehee answered a few questions when she got in, saying that the terrarium artifact would not be affected even if she moved. Elderflower sees the terrarium artifact deserted, so he gives advice to Jaehee. When she has that many diamonds, why doesn't she put something inside it? Elderflower tells her that she can buy all that stuff at the workshop and demands luxuries, saying to avoid cheap items. Jaehee told Elderflower to get in the terrarium artifact a bit rudely, and he told her that she acts differently when talking to Velvet Mesquite, but as she told him that she would give him diamonds, Elderflower went inside in the blink of an eye and reminded Jaehee that she had promised him diamonds, while Jaehee wondered how he could use those diamonds in any way. Furthermore, Jaehee zooms in on the terrarium artifact, and she sees that both dryads are going in opposite directions. Velvet tells Jaehee that she is decorating her home, and she can't live with the Elderflower because their natural habitats are different from each other. Velvet has known Elderflower since he was a child, so she called him a kid, which makes him a bit angry, but she reminds him that she took care of him when he was a kid. Jaehee starts imaging, and Elderflower stops her from imagining strange things because the dryads rise up differently than humans. Jaehee wonders how he knows that she is thinking of which answer she got from Velvet, and that as she thinks while looking into terrarium, her thoughts go straight to them. Jaehee is able to hear them while being far away with the help of a terrarium artifact. Velvet is standing on the deserted field, while elderflower is on a grass field. Velvet puts a baby plant in it, and it converts into a big velvet mesquite tree, the mother plant of mesquite. The terrarium can be decorated with the mother plant of Jaehee and collect more dryads. Velvet tells about her tree, which is strong enough that its roots go 9 meters deep into the ground. In the desert where Velvet stands, there is always groundwater to which she is now guardian. Elderflower shows that his flowers are also beautiful and aromatic. Both dryads are busy decorating their home, so Jaehee thinks about going to find Daisy. When Jaehee came out of the greenhouse, it was already dark, and the lady wished her a safe trip. Jaehee thanked her for guiding her, while the lady showed an act of kindness and told her that she should say thanks because her deal was great and 10 times better than others. Jaehee is feeling like a VIP customer. In the real world, she is a VIP customer at the roadside shops only, but in this world, she even doesn't get jealous of celebrities. Jaehee is ready to go to look for Daisy. Jaehee is thinking about Daisy, but additionally, she doesn't know who Daisy really is, where she has gone, or where the community center is. Jaehee came to the inn, and the owner welcomed her. She wondered if she remembered her, to which she replied, "How can she forget someone who came with Daisy?" Jaehee asked the owner if Daisy came back there, but she didn't, and consequently Jaehee asked the owner if she knows that Daisy is dryad, and she says that finally Jaehee noticed that. Therefore Jaehee questions her if the case is that Daisy is hiding that she is dryad. Jaehee tells the owner that she didn't know until someone told her that Daisy is dryad. The owner finds Jaehee a good person, so she starts telling her about Daisy. Daisy came last year at the time when the world tree bears fruit. Jaehee remembers that's because dryad are not born wild, they are born in the orchard. Jaehee got the point immediately that Daisy is a dryad, so she definitely had a master, but it was for a moment, and her sole connection to her master has been cut short at one instance. A dryad being wild means that it has to suffer from cold, and the pain of their body being rotten. Daisy's master was so harsh, he didn't see her cuteness, and he tried to use violence, but at the nick of time, a druid saved her by giving her fruit to him. Daisy ran away from the orchard as her soul connection was cut off. Furthermore, after hearing the history of Daisy, Jaehee is burning with anger at Daisy's ex-master, who treated her harshly. Jaehee realizes why Daisy ran away from her in the orchard. She was feeling what she felt in her past. The owner of the inn, when she knew about Daisy's situation, started giving her food. The owner can't talk to Daisy being a human, but she knows from her expression that she can never blame anyone. Jaehee realized that she started hating her when she knew that she was like her ex-master. Jaehee is deeply thinking about Daisy, which triggers her emotions, and Dryad came out of the terrarium artifact. Velvet asked Jaehee the reason that made her angry, and Elderflower asked if it was a person or Dryad that she wanted him to kill, but she was just thinking about Daisy. Jaehee asked the owner if she should look for Daisy at the community center. The owner shows her the way to the community center, and the owner is hoping that Jaehee can heal the wounds that Daisy's past has given her. Velvet asked Jaehee if she was worried about Daisy. She knows Daisy is not connected to her soul, but Jaehee wants to find her, and Velvet showed her concern that her heart aches when Jaehee cries, and she would try her best to find Daisy while it's hard to do because it's a common species. Velvet wants to help Jaehee find Daisy, and additionally, Velvet Mesquite is the guardian of the desert. She is able to find groundwater, but she can also find other things with this ability. Velvet knows all the genetic information, and if a dryad is born from the world tree, then she can use the information from the ground to find where the dryad stepped in. The elderflower title is gift from God, but it can also be a lucky charm. Elderflower branches can be used as lucky charms, which might consequently increase the luck of Velvet Mesquite and increase the chances of finding Daisy. Jaehee becomes emotional and thanks them. Velvet asked Jaehee if she had to find a common species of daisy, but she specified that Daisy's hair is red, which makes it a bit easier to find out. Therefore, Elderflower told Jaehee to stand back because Velvet used his weapon and hid it inside the ground, but more deeply because it's a special day and there are lots of dryads in the town, and Daisy is a common species with weak energy that makes it harder to find out. That's why she has to dig her roots deeper in order to find Daisy. Elderflower lifts Jaehee up in order to protect her from the Velvet Earthquake because they are close to the main source. The effect will be the same as before, but the earthquake is ineffective on Elderflower because his roots are grown deep. Velvet found a place, not an exact location, but a place where Daisy was likely to be. The direction is towards the community center, so she must be around there. Moreover, Velvet also found some sort of information about other dryads around the area, and she doubts that Daisy is in trouble. They reach the place, but the area is too big, that's why it's hard to find. Velvet can use an earthquake to find it, but the buildings are near and can collapse, so she can't use it. Jaehee ran so fast that her breath was throwing up. Jaehee hears something on the other side of the wall. Velvet went to check, and she asked Jaehee to confirm if she was looking for Daisy with red hair. Elderflower takes Jaehee up on the wall, and they see druids standing in a circle. Velvet senses a young seedling, while the world tree never sends young seedlings into the world. Elderflower found a bond that Jaehee is having with a wild dryad. Jaehee feels that the dryad she is looking for is forced into the wild state, which means that at the time when their souls were disconnected, it was druid that forcefully broke the link between the souls. Generally, the master has to provide a piece of their soul to the dryad in order to ensure that the dryad live without any difficulty until it returns to the world tree. In some cases, when a dryad noi goes through that process, it loses its power, becomes contaminated, and turns into seedlings. If Daisy enters a state smaller than her current state, then she will return to the world tree. Jaehee realized that Daisy might be down there, and she wants to go down. Elderflower holds her and takes her down. It was the superstitious people he met before standing there, and she told them to move aside, but a green hat person was about to use a leaf on Jaehee, but Velvet destroyed it with her weapon. They move aside, and Jaehee sees Daisy lying down on the ground. Daisy is injured and unconscious. Additionally, Jaehee calls out Elderflower to heal Daisy, but he tells her that Daisy can't absorb his healing energy since their souls are not connected and because Elderflower doesn't have any bond with this particular species of Daisy. Daisy is suffering severely, and consequently, Jaehee tried to wake her up to heal her. The superstitious guy wants to kill Daisy and use her as fertilizer. The guy calls Jaehee greedy and tells her to leave Daisy because she will die anyway. The guy warns Jaehee. Hearing this, Jaehee asked him if he was responsible for Daisy's condition, and without any shame, he said yes, which made Jaehee angry. The guy mate asked him, and he said that Jaehee has only a red-haired dryad, Daisy, but she has higher-graded dryads now. The guy knows that one is a healing type and another is a defense type, and if they attack simultaneously, there is a chance for them to win, but they are unaware of the true power of the dryads that Jaehee has. Jaehee is angry at the ex-master of Daisy and the superstitious guy who injured Daisy, and they should feel the worse they made Daisy feel. Meanwhile, Daisy opens her eyes and congrats Jaehee on her new high-grade dryads. Jaehee shares her concerns and tells Daisy that she is her lucky charm, and without her, Jaehee's luck is incomplete. Jaehee requests Daisy to become her dryad, and Jaehee ensures her that she will keep her happy as she brings her luck. Jaehee hugs Daisy, and she feels her like an old, dying tree that has only a smell of dust. Daisy says dream and jumps up to save Jaehee from the acid fruit bomb. Daisy is severely injured by the bomb. Therefore, Elderflower used luck, and Velvet quickly moved and killed all the enemies. Jaehee is worried about Daisy, and moreover, she doesn't even have a soul vessel to absorb the healing energy of the Elderflower anymore. Elderflower said the truth, it's over, but Jaehee is worried and crying for Daisy. After bearing that much pain, Jaehee doesn't want Daisy to leave her, but death is already waiting for her. Consequently, Daisy says that she is okay with the pain, and at some point she couldn't feel any pain anymore. Daisy shows her emotions for Jaehee, saying that if she got hurt, it would break her heart. Daisy is happy that Jaehee is fine and that she met a precious person in her life who wanted her even for every moment. Furthermore, it was a dream for Daisy, but when she helped Jaehee, it was a really happy moment for her. Daisy says in her last words that her luck is Jaehee and her hope too. Jaehee gets too emotional and holds Daisy's hand tight. It is the first time for Jaehee to see someone die whom she knows. Therefore, Daisy is the first in the game to come to Jaehee and guide her. Elderflower lifts up Jaehee and tells him to see Daisy. Daisy is shining golden and then turns into a golden fruit. Velvet gives it to Jaehee and says that it's Daisy's hope. Moreover, Elderflower explains to Jaehee that pure dryads are born from world trees and return to them when their lives end. However, when the mother plant is combined with another species other than the world tree, it becomes an improved species, and sometimes a special power that even one doesn't know about is engraved into their soul. This is the reason that Daisy stays here instead of returning to the world tree, and the power is none other than resurrection. It's the golden fruit, and it is ready to be reborn. Consequently, Jaehee is able to feel her warmth, as if it is alive. Jaehee minds is now wondering, with the question of what she should do to bloom other dryads. Should she do it right now, and does she go to orchids to do it? Jae-hee can go to the orchard and use the dryad pot. They are ready to go to the place where they first met and to say hello to Daisy again. Meanwhile, Velvet makes the path for them to go. Furthermore, Velvet shows her emotions that at the path, foes can be found, but if anyone comes in the Jae-hee path, she will pierce it, whether it's her brother from the same branch. Jae-hee is important for them as she is like a small world tree, and she provides value to their existence. Elderflower assured Jae-hee that there was nothing that could hurt her, and they moved forward with positivity. They reached orchard, and moreover, it's quite there because it's night and everyone has gone. The lady who is the guide asks her to help, and Jae-hee tells her that she wants to use the dryad pot. The lady is disappointed, knowing that Jae-hee already has fruit. They went to the greenhouse, and it is shining even at night because it is an imitation of the world tree. Furthermore, Jae-hee wonders if the world tree imitation is that fantastic, then how much more the world tree can be. Jae-hee has doubts about whether she is really a small tree. Jae-hee remembers that Daisy doesn't like grades, so she told the lady to don't say anything. Jae-hee placed the fruit on the dried pot, and the data comes on screen that it's a red daisy with the title, Spring Fairy, Language, Hope, Habitat, Normal, Values, Admiration and Attribute, Attack. Jae-hee is about to bloom it, but the lady stops her, reminding her that she has reached the soul limit this morning. She becomes upset, remembering her about the soul limit. All she has are diamonds, and she is just thinking about raising her level anyhow. Meanwhile, Velvet tells her that she doesn't need to worry as she has already grown stronger in comparison with the time they first met. Velvet asked Jae-hee if she felt dizzy after coming to Orchard, and she realized that Velvet was right because she didn't feel. Jae-hee's soul was ready to welcome the new dryad. Furthermore, Elderflower seems upset because he doesn't want to share her attention with anyone else, being an immature kid. Jae-hee touches the fruit, and it flies up with a light. The red petal starts falling, and Daisy appears. Daisy calls Jae-hee Ms. Druid. Jae-hee is happy to know that she remembered her. Jae-hee opens his hands and hugs Daisy. Jae-hee can sense Daisy's fragrance. Velvet is shocked to see Daisy in her seedling form because she has stayed away from the world tree. Velvet was expecting that Daisy would come back in a grown state if she bloomed from the fruit. Therefore, Daisy tells Jae-hee that she is tall, but it doesn't matter to Jae-hee whether she is small or tall. Daisy matters for Jae-hee, and her height doesn't, but she is curious and wants to see Daisy grow as well. Velvet tells Jae-hee that the days when Daisy is grown will come soon, as Jae-hee is her world tree and she is an improved species, so she will grow faster and come back to her original form soon. Consequently, Jae-hee curiously asked Velvet what she has to do to grow her up, and the answer is simple: she has to provide lots of nutrients to Daisy in order to raise her healthy and fast. All the numbers that she picked are fruits full of nutrients. Luckily, the fruits are in her pocket, and she wants to give all of them to Daisy in order to grow her up fast. But Elderflower put up an objection and shouted that she was going to give them all to her. That concludes part 2 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 3 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. That concludes part 2 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 3 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. That concludes part 3 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 4 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Elderflower argues with Jae-hee about giving all fruits to Daisy. However, she gives a logical reason to Elder that they both have grown up well. Nevertheless, Elder says that he can be even stronger if she gives him fruit, and stops Jae-hee from giving the fruit to Daisy. Daisy is an attack-type dryad, and in order to be able to attack, she has to grow to do some damage. Furthermore, if the attacker is unable to attack, then others will suffer. Still, Elder is against Daisy, but she is also not stepping back, which makes Jae-hee feel proud of Daisy. Jae-hee becomes angry at Elder for misbehaving with Daisy, and she tells him that he should be thankful to Daisy because she is the one who chose the fruit from which Elder bloomed. Jae-hee gave her the logical reason that if Daisy didn't choose that fruit, he would never be able to get such a rich master and might not be able to spend as many diamonds as he wants. Elder becomes silent because Jae-hee knows that she can easily console him with diamonds. Jae-hee asks if she is really an attacker because she is so small and thin, and Daisy shows her weapon to Jae-hee. Velvet Mesquite tells Jaehee not to judge a dryad by its appearance because even the roots of a small seedling can break rocks. Daisy was like a normal human when she had no master, but now she has Jaehee as her master, and now she is a true dryad. Weeds grow from the upper surface of the roads, but Daisy will cut through people. Velvet Mesquite shows her concern that it's unlucky for him because the earthquake his roots caused is used to deal with large numbers of enemies, and Daisy's roots are weak, so she can't withstand it because Mesquite will not be able to use earthquakes anymore until Daisy becomes strong. The earthquake is that powerful, which can turn the ground upside down. Even then, Elder can withstand because of his strong, long roots, while Daisy won't be able to withstand because of her weak roots. It's a clear difference between a tree and a plant. It's because Daisy is in her seedling state, and once she grows up, she will be able to protect her master. Mesquite tells Daisy to take root and asks Jaehee to lift Daisy up. For a while, Jaehee looks at the past and finds that she had lifted Daisy up before. But when Jaehee tries to lift Daisy up, her back starts hurting, and she sits on the ground. It happened not because Jaehee is weak, but rather because Daisy's roots are stronger than before. Mesquite lifts Daisy up easily, and she tells Daisy to grow her roots as strong as possible, at least since Mesquite can't lift her up. Mesquite tells her that in advance because he will lift her up often to test her up, and by doing so, her roots will become stronger if she stimulates them constantly, and as a result, she will be able to withstand Mesquite's earthquake. This is how the Elder is raised by Mesquite. Although Elder's mother's plant roots are inherently strong, he is able to withstand his earthquake because he trained him well. Jaehee imagines the moment and starts laughing, which makes Elder a bit angry, and he is told to stop laughing and tell Mesquite that they are the strongest amongst all the dryads. Daisy shows her will to become strong and to come to her original size as quickly as she can, and she eats the fruit, and Jaehee gives her more. As Daisy finishes eating fruits, her gloves change, and Jaehee understands that Daisy got leveled up. Jaehee is thinking about buying nutrient-rich fruits, which she has to buy from other druids separately. Meanwhile, the guide lady tells Jaehee that her guess is right and suggests she go to the market, where all druids often gather. The guide lady gives Jaehee a map of the market and shopping district. Jaehee gives diamonds to her as a tip, and she shows more support. Jaehee reached the market, and there were 2 people seeing her dryads who praised and showed a nutrient fruit that was needed to grow them well. As Jaehee looked at the nutrient fruit, she told them that she would buy it for 300 diamonds and 700 diamonds each. She makes an offer to the druids that she will buy fruits for 400 diamonds if one has more than 3 fruits. Hearing Jaehee, druids want to sell their nutrient-rich fruit. Many druids gather close to her, and she says to buy all of them. Jaehee says to do this one by one, but Jaehee is thinking about how she can count the diamonds because she can't just pour diamonds and count because the numbers are big. Jaehee is thinking about how she can take out diamonds in sets of 100. In the meantime, a druid shows the fruit and asks for 300 diamonds. The gnomes take out a cart that shows 300 diamonds. The druid received the 300 diamonds and thanked Jaehee for the cool deal. Additionally, the gnomes just filled the cart so fast, and all is going smoothly. Most of the fruits Jaehee took for Daisy, and a few for Elder and Mesquite. It's the first time for Mesquite to eat so many fruits at a time. Daisy told Jaehee that she is full now, while Jaehee was thinking that Daisy had to eat so much before to fill her stomach. However, Mesquite explained to Jaehee that Daisy being full means her growth has reached its limit. Mesquite said to Jaehee that it would be great if Daisy could eat more, but Jaehee's soul limit is still too low for Daisy to grow that quickly. These words hit hard on Jaehee, and she wants to level up, so she remembers that through hunting experience, her level can increase. However, Mesquite told Jaehee that they should prepare first. An adventure is a long journey, so Mesquite suggests buying food, potions, and equipment that Jaehee can use. The dryads are connected to Jaehee's souls. If Jaehee becomes strong, her dryads will also be affected. It means if Jaehee's stats increase, then dryad stats will increase too. Jaehee also wants to buy her clothes because her coat is dirty and shows her newbie appearance. They reach the shopping district, and thanks to Daisy, who knows the places, they don't need a map anymore. The sun is up, and there are many people in the shopping district. Elder is so excited to start shopping, but Jaehee tells him to take a round first. Jaehee hears the words, the month's limited accessories, a speciality, a luck draw, which attract Jaehee so much, and uncontrollably, she went to the shopkeeper and just asked to name the price. However, unluckily it was a lucky draw prize, so she just couldn't buy it. Instead, she has to buy at the shops that are decorated with golden ribbons in order to get tickets, and the one who has the most tickets will get the ruby ring in the lucky draw. Jae-hee sees the interest of Elder in the ruby ring, and it hits her with questions because Jae-hee thinks Elder likes all types of jewelry, but he likes ruby because it's a birthstone, and it has more value than a normal gemstone. A birthstone has the power of the sun, or, to be more precise, it has the time of the sun. Ruby is the birthstone of July, and Dryads receive combat bonuses on the basis of date. Daisy and Mesquites get bonuses in April, and the date of the combat bonus is the date of the first blooming of Dryad's mother plant. It can be said that this is the perfect time for them to get a bonus. Elder receives battle bonuses from June to July. That's why he is more interested in July's ruby. If Elder has the ruby ring and it's July, then he will receive more bonuses. Since Elder is a special grade, it allows birthstone magic to reach its full potential. Jae-hee wants to buy more things to get more tickets because if she has more tickets, the probability of winning will increase. Jae-hee is wondering what kind of equipment she should buy. She is thinking of buying armor like Mesquite, but Mesquite suggests that she should not buy any heavy equipment that her body can't resist. The helmet of that armor can even break Jae-hee's neck if she is not careful. They reach the shop, and Jae-hee asks the shopkeeper if he had something for a newbie. The shopkeeper calls her inside and shows her the beginner set, but she doesn't like it. Mesquite said that it would fit perfectly on her, and Jae-hee has no other option other than wearing it, so she bought it and took a rope with it, which cost only 150 diamonds in total. Jae-hee took the beginner's rope too, but she didn't want to show that on her head, so she used it as a hair tie. Jae-hee has equipment and seems ready to go on her first adventure. They come outside, and Jae-hee sees that she has only 6 tickets, and they need more in order to win. Elder gives visual cues towards the artifact shop, and Jae-hee gets that there they can get decorative items that Elder can use to decorate terrarium. They step into the artifact workshop, and it's a huge workshop, but there are very few people inside because artifacts might be expensive or people don't need them at the time of adventure. Jae-hee sees the box as a shopping cart, and puts diamonds in 3 carts, and gives them to her dryads so that they can buy whatever they want. Mesquite wants to come with Jae-hee, but she tells him to go with Elder so that she can do her business. After getting infinite diamonds, the thing that has fascinated Jae-hee the most is gacha. Jae-hee speculates on the items and the likelihood of obtaining them from the random box, which is nearly 0.1%. Furthermore, Jae-hee can even win a house from the random box, which will suit Daisy and Mesquite, while the other one is so cool that Elder will become crazy seeing it. It has a rainbow fountain too. Jae-hee shows her eagerness to get all the items, and she wants to buy all of the random boxes, but she can't because there is a limit set for every druid by the workshop taking care of people's mental health. Despite this, Jae-hee ends up buying 200 random boxes, but she is still upset because, despite having that many diamonds, she still can't buy the number of random boxes she wants. Afterwards, Jae-hee starts opening the random boxes, and when she opens the first, she gets a wooden fence, which has a probability of 80%. A man approaches Jae-hee and asks her if she is throwing the wooden fence and if he can have it, but she puts a condition that in exchange he has to give his lucky ticket. They made a deal by exchanging. By doing this, Jae-hee can even earn more lucky tickets. Jae-hee opens random boxes repeatedly, but she is unlucky, she got only fences in the box. Even people start calling Jae-hee a shareholder of fences. Meanwhile, Elder and Daisy came there, and Daisy asked whereabouts. Jae-hee asked Elder to give her a buff through which she could get the house and the fountain from the random box, but Elder showed dull expressions. Jae-hee explained that she was doing it for him because he wanted a fountain and a statue. However, Elder can't use his buff because it has not been so long since he used it on Mesquite. Jae-hee asked Daisy if she liked to open the box, and she opened one and got a vine supporter, but Jae-hee is happy because it is the first time she is getting something other than the fence. Daisy knows it is not the item that Jae-hee wants. Seeing Daisy, Elder also opened a box and got a purple mushroom. When these purple mushrooms are placed in a terrarium, they boost the vitality of regular field dryads. Jae-hee is expecting something good from Elder being a good luck charm. Daisy also wants to open another, and this time she got items with a single-digit probability. Daisy angrily opened the box, and she got the rainbow fountain, which is the item Jae-hee is looking for, and being superbly happy lifted Daisy up. Jae-hee puts the rainbow fountain in the middle of the field. It seems super cool, and she enjoyed decorating the artifact. Jae-hee heard the announcement that the lucky draw will start soon, and all are said to gather at the center of the shopping district. Jaehee started buying the ticket at the last minute and went to the lucky draw, where there was a large crowd. Jaehee asked Mesquite if she was uncomfortable in the armor. She could go into the artifact while he was not that uncomfortable, but seeing Jaehee's concern, she turned his armor into normal clothes in a flick. Now, the lucky draw begins, and in the first place there are potions for 50 people. In the fourth place, a journey emergency ration for 30 people, and in the third place, a Dryad special nutrient for 5 people. Jaehee got almost all the things, and now the turn is for the first place, and it's a limited thing that can be found in the 26th terrarium, a ruby ring. Jaehee is praying to win, and the lucky number is announced as 226. But Jaehee is missing only 226, even though she has 225 and 227. Jaehee is thinking of making a trade with the one who has the number 226. But Daisy came and showed Jaehee that she has the lucky number 226 and that she got the ruby ring. Jaehee becomes superbly happy and shows her positive attitude toward Daisy. Elder Eyes just got stuck on the ruby ring box. Daisy got the ring while it's effective for Elder, and Jaehee is confused about what to do in this case. Jaehee got another box with the ruby ring, which is a special grade for the collection of wisdom ruby accessories. Within the box, she also got a special reward. Moreover, if she collects 2 more accessories, then she will be able to get the wisdom ruby tiara, which is better than the 3 accessories, and no one is able to get it yet. Jaehee asks curiously if she can get rest accessories with the lucky draw, but the answer is that only the ring can be earned through the lucky draw, and the whereabouts of the rest are still unknown. Jaehee is happy to get the ring, and the wisdom of ruby tiara will be the endgame, according to Jaehee. Jaehee is walking on a diamond path, but there will also be an end to this path, from which she is unknown, and the ring is the first step to it. The ring is dazzling, and when she touches it, it feels warm. Jaehee wears it to Daisy, but it is a bit big for Daisy, and a love for the ring can be seen in the elder's eyes. Daisy tells Jaehee that she doesn't need the ring, even though the combat bonus is 3 months apart from her. Jaehee also thinks it's useless to wear the ruby ring for style, while it's effective on the elder. Jaehee tells Elder that Daisy picked his fruit, and now she has earned a special accessory for him, the ruby ring, and suggests Elder not fight her and treat her nicely. Jaehee can give the ring to Elder directly, but she wants to re-establish the relationship between Daisy and Elder. That's why Jaehee wants Elder to know and realize that Daisy is the one who earned him the ring. Daisy asks Elder if he wants the ring, and Mesquite is laughing seeing the situation, and Daisy seems like Jaehee, who is holding a diamond, making Elder weak because his weakness is diamonds. In the past, somewhere, the self-esteem of Daisy was hurt because Elder and Mesquite's presence was enough to discourage other Dryads. And now a situation arises where Elder has to beg Daisy for the ring, which will hurt his pride more than ever. The situation seems like a movie scene. Jaehee tells Elder that it's a special grade, and if he fights with Daisy, then she will not give him the ring. Earlier, Daisy was discouraged easily, but now Jaehee is proud of her because she doesn't discourage that easily now. Elder sat down on his knees and asked Daisy to give him the ring, and she gave him the ring happily, being generous like Jaehee. Jaehee says this atmosphere will not last long, they will fight, but she is feeling relieved to see them not fighting. Jaehee is now thinking about going up a level. Suddenly, she sees an old lady who's shocked her while she is standing for a while, and Mesquite knows, but he doesn't do anything because he lets those be who seem not harmful. The old lady asked Jaehee if she was ready to go on an adventure, and asked for help revealing her position as the manager of the 26th terrarium. The old lady seems like the NPC of a game that gives quests, so Jaehee asks how she can help her. With a closer look, the old lady tells Jaehee that her soul has not grown strong yet. On urging the lady, she gave Jaehee a scroll in which the quest was shown. It is a highly risky task, but the reward is also that much greater. The scroll is a quest window in which the world tree is shown with the numbers of terrariums that are not affected by the fire. The 26th terrarium is saved because it touches the world tree branches, while the 28th terrarium also touches the branch, but was burned by the fire. It's an unusual thing because the terrarium, which touches the branch of the world tree, the fire can't reach it easily because of the effect of the world tree. The 20th terrarium is the closest to the world tree, and these are better protected, but the terrarium further away got affected by the fire. But the question arises, when the flame is not sufficient to burn the 28th terrarium, then how can it be affected by the fire? Mesquite found it strange because the power of the world tree is still strong. That's why the terrarium in the 20s is alert. It's true that We are not always safe. Jaehee's task is to find the exact cause of the fire or the truth behind the 28th terrarium. The old lady had sent many druids. There is no one yet who comes back. Before Jaehee took action, the old lady steps back, saying that she took it that Jaehee accepted the quest, and she tells Jaehee to discuss the reward once the job is done. Jaehee asked for the hint because if the reward is diamonds, it will be useless for her. The old lady tells her in a poetic way, the butterflies came, Orchard didn't leave yet, and they can be captured and kept in the collection bottle. The old lady disappeared, and Jaehee is left with questions. However, Mesquite tells Jaehee that it's a fine reward, and they can try the quest. The elder also wants butterflies, but is hoping for normal ones, while Daisy hasn't seen any yet and wants to. Jaehee is grappling with the question, is butterfly equipment, or not an insect? She asks curiously, and Mesquite already knew that Jaehee wouldn't know about butterflies. Mesquite explains to Jaehee that, generally, a dryad needs to engage in battles and needs to take nutrients and fruit in order to get stronger. However, there will be a day when the dryad will feel the limit of the two mentioned ways. It feels like an unreachable goal. That's when the butterfly comes into existence. These butterflies can find the dryads very well, even better than the mesquites. If species of dryads and butterflies become honeymates, then butterflies can be a guide in finding the species of those dryads. Let's say if Daisy and butterfly become honeymates, then the butterfly will find another daisy dryad. A butterfly can't absorb the energy of the dryad unless it's from the same dryad. If Jaehee gets a normal field butterfly, then it will be good for Daisy and Elder. When more than one dryad of the same species gathers, it is called a forest. When one becomes a dominant species, it gains more power. The subdued dryads will also live in Jaehee's terrarium artifact, and if Jaehee wants her dryads to get stronger, then she also needs to increase her soul limit. Jaehee is ready to go on the adventure, whether it's hard or not. The terrariums 26, 27, and 28 are in the V shape, so they don't need to go through 27. They can go directly to 28. Jaehee bought a topographical map that was too big, which makes it annoying to use. Elder memorizes the map, and Jaehee doesn't believe it. Before Jaehee steps up to the adventure, Elder asks Jaehee to choose the main character, who will be the leader in the fight. Elder wants to become the leader of the team and says that he is her first dryad. If Elder becomes the leader, his healing power will enhance, but it's up to Jaehee to make him a leader. Mesquite suggests that for rules and orders, it's better for a team to have a leader. In the battle, the leader's order is the same as the level of Jaehee. If Jaehee selects Mesquite as the team leader, then safety will increase, and it will be a defense party. If Jaehee chooses Daisy, then it will be an aggressive attacker party, and if she chooses Elder, then it will be a stable team, but she doesn't want to make him the team leader because he will be a headache for her. Jaehee selects Daisy as the main character until they are near the village. Then, as they go further, Mesquite will be the leader. They came far from the village, so they might get burned now because the fire is weak near the village. Mesquite is alert because they should not underestimate the fire. Mesquite tells Jaehee how tough the battle can be, but he also ensures her that her dryads are on her side and will take care of her safety. They were discussing the fire's appearance. Meanwhile, a fire came in the way. It's a little more like lava in leech shape. Elder takes Jaehee back to ensure safety. Jaehee is thinking that water will put it out, but the dryads can only put out the fire. A dryad is also prey to fire. Daisy wants to deal with this small fire, but Mesquite asks Jaehee if she will allow Daisy to handle it. Daisy wants to handle this fire. However, Mesquite warns her that if she is not careful, she will turn to firewood in an instant. He asks her again if she still wants to fight. Daisy shows her spirit and demonstrates that she isn't afraid of pain or death now. Jaehee feels a bond between Daisy and herself. Moreover, the atmosphere also changes around the team. It might be because of Daisy's spirit that the combat spirit of the team increases. Mesquite uses a shield on Daisy, which can protect her from fire 3 times. However, it will take time to cast again. So, Daisy has 3 chances to attack, avoiding the fire. Elder also gives Daisy a speed buff, through which her speed will be increased. Mesquite advises Daisy to finish the battle in one blow because the longer the battle drags, the more disadvantageous it will be. But Daisy's knife is not as sharp as it can end the fight in one strike. Therefore, Mesquite suggests cutting the fire into several pieces. The fight begins. Daisy jumps and throws the 2 knives at the fire, the brightness aside. The fire attacks Daisy, but she steps back with speed. The fire attacks again, but the sand wall Mesquite casts protects her. Nevertheless, there are only 2 chances left. Jae-hee is worried and confused about what she should do in this situation. Should she call Daisy back or keep faith in her? Mesquite tells Jae-hee that Daisy is performing better as she can dodge the dangerous attacks easily. Besides, the fight has already begun, so she can't withdraw easily. Jae-hee thinks with a cool mind and understands that calling her back is not the solution. If it's the weak fire, then the more powerful fire will come in the future. If she calls her back, then she will come under the wrong impression that Jae-hee doesn't believe in her. Therefore, she should keep faith in her. Mesquite guides Daisy to not slow down and, at the right moment, strike it out. It is the same logic as when we gently blow the candle flame, it flickers only. But when we blow forcefully at the flame, it extinguishes. The fight is intense, the last sand wall defense is used, and the advantageous chance has gone. Elder told Daisy to run as far as she can from the fire because once the fire catches Daisy, there will be no chance to put it out. The fire is trying to cover Daisy, but it didn't grow big. Mesquite explains that dried is like a firewood in front of the fireplace, and the fire has absorbed Daisy's strength. The fire is gaining strength. That's why a long fight with fire is disadvantageous. Jae-hee wants to call Daisy back, but Mesquite suggests she should not be nervous and should believe in Daisy because, through soul connection, Daisy can feel her anxiety. Elder explains to Jae-hee that Daisy can manage as she understands Mesquite's advice. Jae-hee calms herself, seeing that Elder and Mesquite believe in Daisy. Therefore, she should believe too. Jae-hee believes in Daisy, and as Daisy feels it, she cuts the fire into pieces at the right moment. The fire is cut into 4 pieces while it's not dead, and Mesquite tells Jae-hee to move back, and she attacks the fire. They start approaching them. Mesquite attracts the fires towards him, and Daisy uses vines to hold the knives. Through it, she puts out the fire. Mesquite praises Daisy, and Jae-hee also commends Daisy for battling well. Elder tells Daisy she has to improve more because she is struggling with small fires. Daisy thanks Elder for helping her in the fight. Because of him, she fought with ease. Despite this, Daisy's clothes are burned here and there. Jae-hee is confused about what to do because they can't just go back every time her clothes get burned. Elder suggests using potions because she has plenty of them. However, Jae-hee didn't understand why the potion was required when Elder healed Daisy. The potions Elder is talking about are transparent, and that surprised Jae-hee initially because the potions are of different colors, which explains their purposes. Mesquite explains that humans called it a potion, while it is actually world tree sap. For dryads, the clothes are like the bark of a tree that protects them from the inside, and when the bark is damaged, fluid flows out, repairing the damage. Humans call the sap potions because it contains the magical powers of the world tree. When Daisy just opened the cap of the potion bottle, her clothes got fixed. Afterwards, the fire seems to be aiming for the terrarium. Daisy jumped into the battle without hesitation this time, and she also used her vines to fight the fire. Jae-hee recognizes Daisy as a one-on-one combat specialist, seeing her attacks, but it will not be sufficient to handle more fire monsters at a time. Mesquite says that if they put out one fire, more will come after it. While Mesquite has the immunity to resist fire, when more fires continuously attack, she can be hurt. Mesquite just draws fire attention, and Daisy is putting out the fires. Unfortunately, Elder can't attack fire because his only attack involves using a mother plant, which is not effective on fire, even if it's just putting words into the fire. Interestingly, Daisy's shoes got changed. Jae-hee's level has risen, and there are no more fires looking near. Elder tells Jae-hee they still have to go far, but Mesquite says not to go further because it can be dangerous, and they need to stay here. They see a fire, but it's not coming close to them, and Mesquite says that the fire out of the world tree effect is so clever they even lure people. Therefore, Jae-hee throws a diamond to lure the fire towards them. As a result, the fire is lured to the diamond, and after devouring it, it gets bigger. Mesquite's expressions make Jae-hee remember the assistant's expressions, which were the same as Mesquite's when she was in school and got the worst result. Mesquite explains that the diamonds are not regular gemstones. When the sap of the world tree is released through transpiration into the air, it meets the soul of the druids and crystallizes into diamonds, which then get collected into wallets. While it is different for every druid, it takes a month to get a diamond. Jaehee's wallet is something like a bug, but the diamonds are actually something that can be earned through hardships. The world tree is becoming weaker day by day because of excessive transpiration caused by fires. The orchid receives the diamonds and gives its power back to the world tree. In return, the world tree protects the terrarium. The diamond contains the power of the world tree, that's why the fire is attracted to it. This fire is a bit bigger than usual, and Daisy puts it out. Jaehee feels more experienced, and she gets the idea that she can earn more experience staying around the village. Jaehee uses the diamond to lure fire and let them grow big, and they put out those that give them more experience. As the sun goes down, Jaehee is tired, and they set up camp in a safe place. Jaehee receives a message in which it is written that because Jaehee cleared the fire population by more than 85% around the 26th terrarium, she became a 5th rank gardener and would get benefits for taking care of the trouble. Jaehee sees another new icon, and the gnomes ask her about a plant that just delivered in Infinitia. While she doesn't know, she just says to take care of it. Jaehee shares this achievement with her dryads, and Mesquite is happy for Jaehee. While she was worried about the last night when Mesquite killed the player, the terrarium overlooked it because safety from the fire is more important for the terrarium. Jaehee is enjoying being a 5th rank gardener. It's night, and Jaehee takes out her sleeping bag. Mesquite is on night watch to ensure Jaehee's safety. Jaehee is worried about Mesquite sleeping, but Mesquite explains that the dryads neither eat food nor sleep. Jaehee wants to spend more good moments with her dryads, and Mesquite also feels lucky that she meets Jaehee. Jaehee woke up because of the heightened senses of Mesquite. However, there were other druids who came after the fire, but they left the place because most of the fires had been cleared by Jaehee's team. Jaehee saw the world tree flashing white, and it gave her a cold fruit. However, Jaehee feels the slap, but she opens her eyes and realizes it was a dream. For breakfast, Jaehee has a cookie that tastes so bad that she wants to eat something tasty. Moreover, Jaehee changes the team leader to Mesquite, as she told them before. Since they are going further from the area of the world tree blessing, the probability of encountering more fire monsters is higher. Therefore, the safety of the team is necessary. As Jaehee makes Mesquite the team leader, there is a protective shield covering the team. It has been a while. Although they are walking, they didn't encounter any fire monsters because the druids they saw last night had gone this way. Finally, they reach the dandelion habitat, and the scenery makes the environment joyful. In this habitat, if they are lucky, they will be able to see the natural-born dryad, but it's very rare that a dryad is born naturally. Perhaps they might be able to see a dandelion dryad. These dandelion dryads are scouting them through flowers to check whether they are guests or the ones who came to ruin the flowers. Jaehee is a bit worried when she hears flowers for scouting, but Elder explains the dandelions are normal rank dryads. While ranks matter, Jaehee's mindset changed when she met Daisy. She is her precious dryad. Jaehee never wanted to define dryads' limits. While Jaehee is thinking deeply, she doesn't even know if it's really a game or not. Mesquite shows Jaehee a forest of dandelions and dryads. It seems like a scene from a fairy tale. Notably, there is not only a community, even there is a Lord of Dandelions Dryads, and she welcomes Jaehee. The Lord of the Dandelions Dryads felt that someone was stepping into their habitat. That's why she was on alert. However, if she knew that it was Jaehee, then she would not send those petals to scout them. She behaved so politely toward Jaehee and asked for forgiveness. Mesquite praises the Lord, and she too. She asked the reason for stopping in their habitat and requested permission to talk to Jaehee. Jaehee said yes, and the Lord showed the way to their habitat. The dandelions became comfortable too, and they asked Daisy questions because it's their first time seeing other dryads. Jaehee is feeling a bit concerned walking on the dandelions, but the Lord said it's fine. They arrived at the center of the dandelions' habitat, which is huge. In the past, the area was filled with dandelions, but because of frequent fire attacks, the size of their habitat has reduced. Moreover, because of fire, the population of dandelions is also decreasing. The Lord is not specialized in combat, so all she can do is hide their habitat. However, even now, that power of hers is also weakened, and the area she can cover is also shrinking. This signifies that the day when she will complete all her responsibilities assigned by the World Tree is approaching. If no new dryads are born here and the remaining dryads are sent to the World Trees, the day for her to return to the warmth of the World Tree will also come. The problem is that her strength will not last before all the dryads return. Jae-hee makes assumptions about the reason for calling her to talk, but all her assumptions went wrong. Actually, the Lord called her because she wanted her to put out the fire in their habitat. The flowers will tell her the location of the fire, and she asks Jae-hee if she can help her. Jae-hee, without hesitating, accepts to help, understanding it's a sub-quest for which she will get the reward too. The Lord stops Daisy and asks for privacy, but Jae-hee is concerned, so she stays with Daisy, and the Lord has no problem, even if it's better if she stays. That concludes part 3 of this recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. What will happen next? If you would like to see a part 4 of this manhwa, let us know in the comments section below. Till next time. The Lord sees Daisy in a seedling state, so she asks her if she is a natural-born dryad. Hearing this, Jae-hee is concerned, but Daisy tells her she is a dryad bloomed by a fruit, and she reveals her reason for being small. This is because she has stayed away from the world tree, which causes her to lose her strength and become small. The Lord then asks if she was abused, but she explains that there was another druid who cut connection with her. This is the reason she has had to suffer, and from the bright light, Jae-hee came as a savior and saved her from suffering. The Lord asked Daisy if she felt inferior to the 2 dryads that traveled with her. Specifically, the Lord is talking about Mesquite and the Elder, but Daisy replies that she is happy that her druid is protected by the strong dryads. She also accepts that she is weak now, but it is because she has not grown fully yet. Hearing this, the Lord appreciates her and motivates her, saying that she will become a king one day. A king of a forest rules over one species, and the Lord appreciates Daisy's strong mentality. Through this, she will definitely become a king one day. In order to become king, a dryad must have more members of the same species, which is only possible to find through a butterfly. The Lord then tells her story. When she was born, she was a normal dandelion seedling, small and weak. However, the difference between her and other seedlings' children is that her soul is capable of accepting other dryad souls. As the number of dandelion dryads increased and their habitat was threatened by fire, they needed a leader to lead them all. This is how she was chosen as the dominant species. As time passed, the Lord was trusted by more souls, and hence her power increased. When she defended the habitat with her power, her soul grew bigger, her body grew as well, and ultimately her weapon became bigger. A king must fulfill the duties and responsibilities that lie on their shoulders. The Lord said to Daisy that she would also be able to become the same as herself one day. Daisy shows her spirit, and Jae-hee also knows that in order to make Daisy a dominant species, she has to be stronger. This is because the dandelion species makes a forest in the wild, but Daisy has to make one in Jae-hee's terrarium artifact. Jae-hee calls Daisy to put out the fires in this area and get some experience. Jae-hee and her dryads went to put out the fires following the flower seeds of dandelion. When the seeds disappeared, they saw a fire in a person's shape, which Jae-hee had never seen before. The fires near the terrarium are surpassed by the force of the world tree, so the shape of the fire is just like a piece of slime. However, the fires that are not affected by the world tree can use their power as much as they want. The fires burn and devour their surroundings to get stronger and gain the form of the one who seems more powerful than them. The fire had gained the form of the druid, which passed through this way, being found to be powerful. The fire shines brightly, and the surrounding area becomes a pool of fire. Jae-hee is now concerned because she has never seen any fire like it before, and it would have been problematic if she didn't level up at the beginning. The heat covers the surroundings. Even the water starts boiling. Jae-hee is curious about the druid who put out these fires before. The fire attacked, and Jae-hee felt that the level of this place was just so much, even though it should be just more than one from the beginner's ground. Mesquite stabbed the fire, and it broke into 5 pieces. Daisy steps up to put out the fires, but Jae-hee feels the gut feeling that is connected to Mesquite. Consequently, she calls back Daisy and changes the main character to her. She pulls Mesquite back, he covers Daisy up, and Elder uses a protective shield to protect Jae-hee from fire. The fire attacks them. The smoke and ash cover them up, and Jae-hee's eyes are burning with the smoke. However, she manages to ask others if they are alright. They protect themselves from the attack, and Elder uses his healing power to heal them all. As a result, Jae-hee feels better. The fire has absorbed the energy. One of the fires got caught in the explosion and died, but there is no size change even though the fire has absorbed the energy. Mesquite asks Daisy to put out the fire at once, otherwise if the fire gets smaller, it will use the same attack as before. Mesquite handles the right 2, and Daisy handles the left 2. Mesquite guides Daisy to attack in the middle so that the fire disappears as it is being attacked. The fire seems to be using the dust attack as before, but Elder blocks it, and Mesquite and Daisy have only one chance to wipe out the fires. Otherwise, the Elder Mother Plant will be absorbed by the fire and the fire power will get stronger. At the right time, Mesquite and Daisy attack the fire and wipe them out. Jaehee leveled up and felt refreshed. Daisy's jacket changed, Elder's cape changed, and Mesquite was the least changed because the higher the rank, the slower the leveling up speed becomes. Jaehee and her dryads leveled up well because the enemy was strong. At this rate, Jaehee can easily become stronger as a druid who cleared the fire in this area. She gives a potion to Daisy, and they just look at the front. Jaehee saw a diamond, and she wondered where it came from while she didn't throw any. Mesquite told her that it came from the fire they put out. Jaehee questioned Mesquite about why it is as though, while the fire they put out at the beginning, nothing came out of it. Mesquite explains that a diamond is a crystal left by a fire that engulfed a dryad or a piece of the world tree. The diamond is condensed with the magical force after burning with the fire, and the fire couldn't absorb the whole diamond because it was protected by the soul of the dryad, who wasn't able to return to the world tree. Moreover, the fire might have swallowed up a dandelion seedling from the habitat. The dust attack that the fire used was definitely the flower seeds of the dandelions. In other words, the diamond is the remains of the dandelions that were eaten by the fire. Jaehee didn't get how a dandelion seedling could come this far and be eaten by the fire. She is now concerned about dandelion seedlings and decides to clear the area around the habitat fast from the fire so that no casualties will happen. The fires are not specifically at a destination, so all the druids have to wander around. All the fires are human-shaped but can be killed easily compared to the first one. Jaehee sees the fire and guesses that the fire must have swallowed up a dandelion, and Mesquite suggests they can kill it in one blow. But Jaehee doubts if Mesquite can do so because in the previous battles they didn't put out the fire in just one blow. He explains that this time it will be possible. Although the weapons and equipment are the same, the limit of the skills they can use has been lifted a bit, and as Jaehee's soul has grown, her dryads can spread their roots more. Mesquite can use more skills compared to Daisy, and he was just standing low so that he could match Jaehee's soul. Mesquite said Jaehee is growing faster than usual, and they show her the strong will to protect. Elder uses some special buff, and Mesquite wipes out the fire in just one blow because it's his new skill, which throws out defense and focuses on offense. They return to the habitat, and Jaehee gives the Lord the 2 diamonds of the dandelion dryads that were burned by the fire. They were the children that were born near the boundary of the habitat, and before the king noticed, the children were swallowed by the fire. The souls of the burned children can neither return nor go back to the world tree. The only way is that the Lord keeps them in her heart, and when the time comes to return to the world, she will take them with her. As a reward, the Lord gives Panacea, which contains the power of dandelion dryads, to Jaehee. It's a special potion that has healing power, which can cure most diseases and those who are affected by the special power of dryads. Jaehee questions Elder while he is also a healer, so if he can make something like that, but he explains that while both dandelions and Elder are healers, their traits are different, and in order to concentrate the healing power into a diamond bottle, one has to instill it over and over again for a long time to get a potion. Jaehee opens her eyes wider, seeing that it's a diamond bottle. The Lord got the diamond bottle from an alchemist who visited their habitat a long time ago. Jaehee shows concern to the Lord about whether it is alright to give her a valuable thing, but it's fine as Jaehee helped the Lord by putting out the fires around their habitat. The Lord takes out a flower from her weapon and also gives it to Jaehee, and she takes it, being greedy. The reason behind giving that to Jaehee is not because the Lord is grateful but because she feels an oracle that is surrounding her. The God Oracle is the forgotten language of the dandelion mother plant, and it is said that the first dandelion mother plant received an oracle in a huge flood that can submerge everything on the ground. The seeds of that plant were blown away to a safe place that wasn't submerged, and as she becomes the Lord, she inherits the power of the oracle, and she gives a fragment of that oracle to Jaehee, through which she can awaken a new force with a special power. The Lord doesn't know how to use it, and all she can do is give it to her. The oracle fragment is a valuable item, but they don't know how to use it. Jaehee accepts the item because the time will come when she will be able to use it. Jaehee is satisfied with the panacea, and as of now, the quest is complete, so she can head towards the 28th terrarium as planned, but Jaehee expresses that she is stuck in a problem. There is a mountain on the way to the 28th terrarium. It's just a bit higher than the plane, but only 10 meters higher than the plane is a mountain for Jaehee. She really doesn't want to go through the mountain, and it's not like on Earth where there will be a cable car or stairs for hikers. It's just a wild mountain. Jaehee is now feeling guilty for cursing the druid that has cleaned and wiped the hunting ground because, since the druid is not gone in the way they are going, the fire monsters are coming like crazy from nowhere. Mesquite alerts Jaehee to see above, and there is a firebird monster who is able to fly. The firebirds attack them crazily, and it's even hard for Mesquite to deal with that because they are flying. He asks Daisy if he will throw her up so she can manage to kill the monsters. Mesquite throws Daisy up, and she deals with the firebirds one by one and kills them. Jaehee is exhausted now, and Mesquite suggests Jaehee take a break because she seems too tired. They had cleared all the fire in the area where they were standing. Jaehee feels guilty for being a low-level noob, and she feels that she is creating trouble for her dryads, while Mesquite consoles her that even her existence is a help for them. Jaehee is crying because she is nothing more than trash who has nothing but diamonds. She sees a burned box, and Mesquite goes to check and finds it's a carriage. Jaehee becomes excited and wishes if she knew she would have taken a carriage, but Mesquite tells her the drawbacks of it, which can be dangerous because it's a big object and they will become easy targets to fire. Generally, they did take a bunch of talented dryads to escort them, but it seems that there was a battle and the group was swallowed by the fire, and the fire must have become a lot stronger. Elder suggests leaving the place quickly, but he didn't sense a strong presence here. Jaehee estimates that when a fire that swallows a dryad is that powerful, then how powerful will the fire be if it swallows up a lot of dryads? All the boxes have a danger symbol, and the 28th terrarium is written on that. Jaehee suspects that the box contains black soil and that there is a plant inside it, and she is curious to know what they were trying to deliver to the 28th terrarium. Finally, they reach flat ground, but there are two ways in front of them, and both ways go to the 28th terrarium, but Jaehee wants to select an easier one. Mesquite feels the presence of someone on the left path. We see a group of dryads who seem to be chasing someone with signs of escape, but it's older than a few years, so their work ends for nothing. The other dryad suggests the dryad that escapes must have fast feet, that's why it was able to survive. The other one, dryad, suggests that they failed to achieve their goal, and at the end, they lost track of where dryad went, and all the remains were burned too. The main dryad feels the presence of someone in front of them, and it's our heroes, Jaehee and her dryads. The other dryads recognize them as the ones Sidling found that night. Another dryad praises that they are an ideal combination because they are able to come this far with a small vessel. Jaehee counts that there are 6 dryads, and they all look fancy. Jaehee recognizes the person standing back as a druid. A dryad from their group asked who was going to talk, and all started fighting to talk, but the main of the bouquet stopped them, seeing Jaehee confused. The other dryads is introduced by Belladonna, who is the current main character of the bouquet. They talk from an appropriate distance because she explains that, because of her mother's plant nature, it can be dangerous to stand at a close distance for those who are not in her bouquet. They are commissioned, and they are heading to the 28th terrarium, and they are coming down from the 16th terrarium. Jaehee tells them they are from the 26th terrarium, and she recognizes them as the group who cleared the hunting ground earlier, but Jaehee is wondering why the druid is not talking. Belladonna introduces other dryads to Jaehee. The one with violin is Brazilian rosewood. The one next to him is the dominant species of the Kalmia forest known as Kalmia latifolia. The one who wields the whip is periwinkle. The one who is holding a crystal ball is blue mallow, and the Cardin is the prince of the desert. Cardin has not seen someone from the same desert field for a while, so he is excited to see Mesquite. Jaehee introduces themselves. Her dryads are Mesquite Velvet and the Red Daisy, and she doesn't need to introduce Elder because Belladonna has met the same species before, so she recognizes him as Elder and praises his species as beautiful and gorgeous. Jaehee understands that an Elder is a famous one, like a celebrity. Belladonna introduces her druid Sidling, who is not used to human social life because he has lived with dryads since he was born. Sidling lacks social skills, and they made a rule that first, the 3 dryads will talk from their bouquet, then Sidling will talk, but the 2 dryads waited their turn, so politeness is not expected from their druid. Sidling asks for understanding and steps up to talk to Jaehee. Sidling is as tall as Mesquite and seems scary from the clothes. Jaehee recognizes it must be because of the difference in their levels. Sidling calls Jaehee small, and she becomes angry hearing that because no one yet calls her small in this world. Belladonna reminds Sidling that she told him many times that humans and dryads are treated differently, and she tells him that before saying anything, he should think about one's feelings. Sidling suggests Jae-hee go back because her soul is a small vessel, and it's not a place for people like her to wander around. Sidling praises Mesquite, saying that because of him, she is able to come this far, but now she can't move further. Jae-hee's anger becomes intense, and Kalmia reminds her of what she said to him, not to tell their intention directly, otherwise, the fight will arise as it has happened before, also because of Sidling being straightforward. Sidling speaks negatively about Jae-hee's skills and tells her the consequence. If she moves further, she will die, and if she dies, her dryads will also be swallowed up by the fire, and a stronger fire monster will be born if Mesquite ranks dryads devoured by the fire. Sidling dryads apologizes to Jae-hee for the rude behavior of their druid. The Brazilian reminds Sidling that he is human too, and he should take care of the words he is using while talking to another human because the dryads taught Sidling to talk. His manner of speaking is straightforward, while the dryads are not hurt by the druid words, but humans are different. The Brazilian reminds him that he said many times to think about others' feelings before saying anything, while the Sidling said he said it after thinking. Kalmia reminds him not to use the word terrible and drives his attention towards Mesquite that he has grabbed his lance, and if Sidling makes Jae-hee more angrier, a fight would break, and they have Mesquite and a top-tier healer, and this combination is bad for them. Cardin, the prince of the desert, excitedly meets Mesquite and tells him that it's an honor for him to meet the guardian of the desert, and he admires him since he was a sapling. He asks him to shake hands or hit him with his lance. Periwinkle and Blue Mallow already know that Cardin will act like that, and Mesquite stops him from uttering more words, and he neither handshakes nor hits with the lance. Jae-hee tells them that they are commissioned by the 26th terrarium to head to the 28th terrarium, so she has no reason to hear Sidling, and she tells him he misunderstood them. They are not as weak as they think. Jae-hee warns Sidling that if he ignores her one more time, she will forget the politeness. Kalmia said to Jae-hee that if she was commissioned to investigate the 28th terrarium that is burned out, then it's too much for her because her soul vessel is so small. Commission is a special request given to the druids who are highly skilled, and it is too much for those who have small souls. Kalmia explains that they just sent any druid to investigate because 20's terrariums don't know the seriousness of the situation. As Kalmia knows, everyone has died. That's why the 10's terrarium has sent some druids who are highly skilled and known for it, but they are the only ones who came to the place with one piece. Jae-hee is now concerned about themselves when she knows that this is not a beginner's quest. Mesquite takes Jae-hee back to protect him from the heat of the fire that appeared to be dangerous. Belladonna alerts Sidling, Elder makes a shield to protect themselves, and Brazilian plays violin, and he understands that it is going to be dangerous. Jae-hee is unable to understand where the heat is coming from while she is under the shield, but even the heat is coming inside. Sidling suggests Jae-hee escape as soon as she gets a chance, and Sidling will draw the attention of the fire with his dryads. If Jae-hee listens to Sidling, it will be accepted that her dryads are weak. Jae-hee hears the sound, and she feels something big and powerful approaching them. The fire covers them up, and Sidling suggests Jae-hee use Mesquite, as the fire doesn't affect Mesquite. Jae-hee and Sidling start fighting. Belladonna suggests to Sidling not to fight themselves and suggests it's time to cooperate. Kalmia said to keep them near and safe, but Jae-hee takes it as an insult. Meanwhile, fire comes out, and Mesquite tells all to come behind him in order to be safe. Jae-hee was surprised to see the fire in carriage form. It's a big carriage, which is as big as a house. She suspects it was the fire that swallowed up the carriage that she saw in the way early. Jae-hee heard that fire takes the form of the strongest when it sees, but she never thought fire would take the form of an object. The situation looks like a boss stage, and one alone can't win this stage, and Jae-hee is thinking of forming a party with Sidling. Belladonna also suggests to Sidling that the situation is serious, and he should make a party with Jae-hee because, without it, the battle will not end easily. Plus, the actions will be restricted to Belladonna if they do not become their allies. Sidling gives the excuse that she is small, but Belladonna explains that if he is thinking that he needs to protect the seedling, then it's not like that, while Daisy is really in her seedling form. Jae-hee becomes angry upon hearing Sidling's words. Suddenly, the fire attacks. All move aside, but Belladonna gets hurt because she moves to the other side, being worried about Jae-hee because if she moves towards her, she will be harmed because Belladonna has the ability to harm the surrounding area when she is in the field. The carriage attacks lava constantly. The more they act, the more restricted their actions will be for Belladonna. Jae-hee said Sidling shouldn't be stubborn and sent her party request, as his dryad got hurt because of his stubbornness. Jae-hee doesn't know how to make a party request, but her phone rings, and she sees the phone switch from wallet mode to Stonehenge mode and connected to the artifact network. She received a request from Sidling on her phone to join the party, and she joined it. The fences between the terrarium artifacts open temporarily, and a Stonehenge is formed between the Sidling and Jae-hee terrariums. The Stonehenge initiative is 90% for Sidling and 10% for Jae-hee. The party formation is not only about forces, but it also feels different, and Jae-hee was not feeling that close to him before. Elders don't want to be a part of the party, but there is no time to even think about that. He uses his stick, and his specialty has bloomed. The human-shaped fires start coming out of the carriage all at once. Mesquite suggests that they can't just slice them into fires because they remember what happened in the dandelion habitat, but it will also not be a good idea to just take offense by putting out the defense. Daisy is good at blocking attacks, but she can't just blow out the fire in one strike. Plus, Mesquite also doesn't want to stop Elder from using his wide-range healing to use his buff because Elder's healing is keeping Dryad's momentum. Sidling calls Belladonna, and as she touches Sidling's hand, a transparent barrier covers them up. Suddenly, a boulder appears, and as Sidling touches Mallow's hand, grass appears. Jae-hee doesn't get what they are doing, and it seems like an illusion, but Elder tells her that it's a field declaration. It's a druid ability to take the artifact into the real world, and it turns a field into a natural environment that is suitable for dryads because it helps them become stronger while they are in their suitable environment. Jae-hee is unable to believe that he overlays different fields at a time, and she is curious how big the Sidling soul limit will be. Jae-hee now accepts that Sidling is incredible, and she is doubtful if she can do this too. The environment boosts up the dryads, Elder healing becomes stronger, and Daisy starts fighting back. Mallow is doing something using his crystal ball. Mesquite got something they were doing and helped them by putting out fire around Mallow. Cardin follows Mesquite's actions, and Mallow is done with his crystal ball. Mallow has good news and bad news. He asks what they want to hear first, and Jae-hee says good news. Mallow says that there are 6 normal fires and 3 rare fires, and they can get rid of them without any difficulty. Mallow suggests Belladonna use her sorcery. Belladonna passed her weapon to Sidling, and he used it. Several purple balls affected the fires, which stopped them and all put out the fire easily at the same time. Jae-hee is filled with questions. Can a druid use Dryad's power, and how powerful can a druid be? Mesquite explains to Jae-hee that it is called graft, in which grafting the branches of the druid and Dryad's soul amplifies their power, and she cheers up Jae-hee that she will also be able to use it one day. The carriage comes again, and this time it seems more powerful. Jae-hee remembers she heard only good news, and it must be bad news. Mallow said that there was one more that appeared just now, which has a unique rank because it must have swallowed up a higher rank, Dryad, and he suggests they might need to run depending on the current situation. Sidling stands still in this situation and suggests they can't run away and that they need to deal with the fire before it gets worse. Jae-hee also doesn't want to step back, as they came this far and now they need to beat the boss. Seeing the difficulty level, the reward will also be as huge as the difficulty. Mallow says once they see the blazes that will appear, they might change their mind. The fire attacks with the bullets, or something seems more like the fire bombs. All defend themselves to avoid the bombs that explode and cover them with fire. The area is small, so it is difficult to dodge the bombs. Periwinkle Whip got affected by the fire, and Elder can't heal the weapons. At this rate, if the weapons get destroyed, then the game will be over. At the Jae-hee end, the defense is manageable because of Mesquite, but there will be no means if the other bouquet loses their attackers. The fire is continuously releasing lava, and Jae-hee now understands why the seedling said that if the fire swallows a higher-ranking dryad, then the fire becomes castrographically stronger. Jae-hee asked Elder if he has any other skills, as he is a healer. His role is a bit critical at this point. Elder seems to be struggling because it is not a small responsibility to heal a large group. Elder is doing his best, and because of him, all are still alive. Elder is healing the dryads again and again, even those who are about to die. Everyone is busy dodging attacks, but Elder is standing still in this situation. Jae-hee gets what she can do now. She grabs Elder Buff's stick. Mesquite tells Jae-hee that he can't hold on any longer, and they need to break the shield to come out of the tense situation. Jae-hee turns into a little tree, and she understands why they call the druid a tree. She is feeling herself like a sturdy tree. Jae-hee and Elder formed a graft. The rain starts, which heals the wounds, and even the weapons start healing. The rain is a blessing of life that is given to all plants. Rain can affect the blaze, but it's not ordinary rain either. These droplets that are healing them are the same as the potions in the sap of the world tree. Jaehee understood from where the sap was coming. It's a special graft that Jaehee and Elder can use. The Dryad's power is the only one that can defeat the blaze. Elder's power melted Jaehee's diamonds and turned them into rain. All the Dryads get boosted and attack with their full potential. The burns from the lava healed immediately because of the rain. Mesquite realized that he doesn't need to defend anymore and that all attacks are at their full potential. Several diamonds appeared as the fire was put out. Daisy grows more, and she runs and lifts Jaehee up. She is still smaller than Jaehee, but for sure she becomes stronger than ever before. Daisy is now able to defeat more blazes, and she keeps getting stronger to protect Jaehee. Mesquite praises Daisy too, and now he can't call her a seedling. Elder alone is only capable of generating fog, but the rain that covers the wide area Elder got Jaehee used the diamonds, so he asked how many diamonds she has, but the diamonds are not going to end that easily because she has infinite diamonds. The area has been turned into a sanctuary, so the blaze will not be able to come to this area for a while. They had all never seen anything like that before. Elder species that Belladonna met was not that strong. Kalmia felt like she was back with the world tree and said that even seedlings wouldn't be able to use such an amazing skill. Mallow was concerned about Jaehee because he thinks that the rain was like raining thousands of bottles of potions, and she must have used her health at the place of world tree sap. Belladonna said that she is not a healer but can diagnose injuries, but Jaehee said that she is fine, but Sidling is confident that she must have hurt because using a skill like that requires even more than the power of grafting, and Sidling said to let Belladonna look, and there is no need to be afraid of her because she is not like her mother plant. Jaehee reveals that she didn't use the health, and the rain wasn't the world tree sap, but technically it was tree sap because the diamonds are crystallized forms of the world tree sap. Jaehee got an alert from her phone, and she saw a wagon. The gnomes have set the tape underground so that Jaehee can easily use diamonds. Belladonna is unable to believe, so she asked Jaehee again if the source of the rain was diamonds. Jaehee said that her soul limit is not as great as Sidling, but she has tons of diamonds. Sidling Dryads never saw a druid with lots of diamonds except his druid because he got so many diamonds fulfilling requests. All are surprised because the number of diamonds required to show such amazing power is incalculable. The artificial rain that covers a wide area and happens continuously for a long time is unbelievable for them. Jaehee shows Elder her phone screen, showing the diamonds number has increased by 10,000 diamonds. But the screen is seeing blank by the Elder, which means that only Jaehee can see it. Jaehee gives diamonds to Elder as an expression of appreciation for grafting. Jaehee told Sidling that he can keep all the diamonds that were dropped by the fire because she doesn't need them, as they can see. Jaehee shows attitude, as Sidling made her angry earlier, and she angrily told him to never meet again, and if they meet by any chance, then let's ignore each other. Before Sidling says anything, Belladonna calms her, and says that is why he has to be careful while talking to people. Sidling silently disappears. That party is disbanded, and Jaehee never wants to meet Sidling again. Mesquite asks Jaehee if she really doesn't want to meet them so he can spread his roots to give them warning when they will come close to them. But she doesn't want Mesquite to do that as the Dryads were cool. There is only the Sidling that makes Jaehee angry. She was impressed by the Sidling fighting style with his Dryads, but Mesquite was impressed by the Jaehee and Elder graft. Jaehee wants to use it every time in the battle, but Mesquite explains that she can't use it whenever she wants because she needs to make a close relationship with her Dryads in order to use it again. Jaehee sees it as a special attack that can only be used when their meter is full. Elder says they don't need to be discouraged because they can build their relationship stronger and faster if they understand each other better, and Jaehee thinks that if she needs to give more diamonds to Elder to get a better bond. Daisy asks if she can also graft with Jaehee, but Mesquite says she still has a long way to go, and first she needs to grow her roots. Jaehee is curious to know what will happen when she grafts with Daisy and Mesquite, and when she grafts with them all at the same time. The sun is shining, and Jaehee is so tired that she even wants to roll down the hill. Jaehee sees them in the front and realizes they have reached the 28th terrarium. The 28th terrarium is covered with ashes and smoke. The protective barrier of the terrarium seems to have been destroyed, and its branch of the 28th terrarium has lost its powers. Moreover, Mesquite says that if the 28th terrarium is left like this, then the other terrarium will come into danger because it is like leaving a hole in the wall from which the blaze will come again and again through the opening. Additionally, the fire they fought before would be very rare to see in this region. Mesquite seems fearful that a great branch of the world tree can be defeated like this. Therefore, Jae-hee thought to first check the area with fewer blazes because maybe they can secure a path to town so they don't have to fight all the blazes of the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee got an emergency alert on her phone, and she hurried to the shortest path going there. They had experience from previous battles, which is helping them now get rid of blazes easily. Moreover, Elder lifts Jae-hee up and runs in the direction she told him. They reached, and there was a druid laying under the tree. Furthermore, blazes are gathering around him. They can't use their special move, but Elder gives his stick to Jae-hee to grab, and fog covers them up, acting like a barrier. Jae-hee is hoping the guy under the tree is fine, as she can sense the life in him. It seems like he has been waiting for so long. Additionally, Jae-hee gets another alert that shows that her artifact is connected to the Scarecrow artifact automatically because of the emergency mode. A Stonehenge is formed with the 100% ownership of Jae-hee. As the guy stands, the tree disappears. He says that he hung on for a long time, but now he and his dryad have reached their limit. Jae-hee offered water, but he didn't want it anymore. He is Scarecrow, the custodian of the 28th terrarium, and a sole survivor. He and his last dryad Arrowwood raised a barrier to prevent the blaze from leaving the terrarium, and if he left and went for help, then other terrariums would be in danger, so he was unable to go ask for help. There is a terrible blaze inside the walls, and if it ever gets out, then all the terrariums will be destroyed. He and his dryad used their health to graft for a long time. The druid has no more time left, and he asked Jae-hee to save the 28th terrarium. The druid was not asked to defeat the blaze, but telling the world about the tragedy of this terrarium will be enough, and the druid is happy to meet a druid who can tell others what happened to the 28th terrarium. Furthermore, Jae-hee got another notification that the network is disconnected and that druid has passed away. The blaze is attracted to dead bodies. They won't be able to dig a grave for him this time, but the best they can do is hide him. Additionally, Elder suggests they can't defeat that blaze on their own, but he suggests they take help from other terrariums. Jae-hee calls her dryads close, but Jae-hee hears a voice. Elder told Jae-hee that there is no way they can win against that blaze and suggested they take help from another terrarium. Jae-hee heard someone calling her for help. Jae-hee's terrarium artifact gives her direction towards the place where the blaze is imprisoned. She wants to look out, but she is worried if it's a trap. But when she saw Daisy looking in the same direction for a while, she remembered that daisy flowers symbolize hope. Jae-hee shows courage and steps up, following artifact directions. Mesquite is going forward, and Elder is protecting them with his barrier. Jae-hee feels the ground is shaking, which might be from the terrarium, which is signifying that something really dangerous is waiting for them. Somehow, they made their way to the inside, and Elder suggested that to avoid any tragedy, they should leave as soon as possible, as Jae-hee insisted they come in. But although it's pretty dangerous to stay there, Mesquite didn't feel any presence but suggested leaving immediately if she sensed something dangerous. Daisy felt something toward the bricks and lifted the bricks up. Daisy found a dryad berry, which might be a special dryad that luckily survived the blaze. It's of the same kind as Daisy. Jae-hee wants to bloom the seed, but it can only be done in the soil of the orchard. Elder said that they are standing in a place that is a temporary greenhouse as someone shifts the orchard here. They found a dryad port in which premium soil is filled that is taken directly from where the world tree is rooted, and it seems burned, but it still contains the blessings of the world tree. Greenhouse reflects the world tree environment, but Jae-hee, in its own, is a small version of the world tree. The place has all the basic necessities that make it suitable for blooming. A hotter environment is better for blooming because only the cold region's dryads need cold weather to bloom. Mesquite says that they have all their basic necessities. Now all they want is water to awaken the dormant soil, but not normal water. They need the dew that collects on the leaves of the world tree. Elder suggests using diamond. Although he hates this, it's the most effective thing that they have. In order to use diamonds for water, they need to break the outer layer of diamonds to melt them, but the greenhouse is not well equipped, which makes the task hard. Jae-hee is thinking of her world, where diamonds are the hardest, but things here are pretty different. Mesquite suggests that Jaehee's body and soul represent the world tree, so she must come into physical contact with diamonds to turn them into water. Jaehee tried crushing them with his foot, but it didn't work. Jaehee put the diamond in her mouth, and as she did so, the diamond melted right away. She gulps the water because it tastes like she ate a bunch of grass. Although she has a way to melt the diamonds, Mesquite never thought biting diamonds would melt them, while some druids have special powers to do so. Jaehee chewed some more diamonds, and as she touched the berry, it bloomed. Jaehee touches the berry, and she feels different, as if the berry energy is trying to hide. A tall and slim red daisy blooms from the berry, but he hides himself with his hands. It seems like he is scared by someone, but actually it's a dryad that has bloomed before, like Jaehee Daisy. Red daisies have the power of resurrection. They die and can come back to life. He remembers that bricks had tumbled upon him, and he died. Daisy meets the new one, but he is surprised that he is surrounded by powerful individuals, and he can feel the warmth of their souls. He never thought that a red daisy could even have a powerful soul, and he feels proud of her. He submits himself to Daisy, as she is so powerful that she can rule over them. He admitted himself and asked her to take him under her wing to form a daisy forest. He shares his power. Daisy gets a new long-range weapon, and he shows his weapon, which seems like a bow. Daisy can now use his weapon, as he dedicated his powers to her. Daisy received power from him, so now she can use Daisy's special skill. Resurrection. Twice. Jaehee is happy that Daisy has new power, and she asks him if he is the one who is calling her, but he doesn't understand. He told them that he was in a deep sleep inside the berry, and she couldn't call her from that far. Jaehee asked him about his old master, and he told them that he used to perform different kinds of tasks for the orchard of the 28th terrarium. The custodian of the 28th terrarium has bloomed him and tied his soul to the small branch of the world tree with his special power. He lives on without any issues, but he didn't have the opportunity to grow stronger. The custodian had bloomed him, so it can be said the custodian is his master, but this is not the exact master-dryad relationship. He asked about his master because he died while he was escaping. Mesquite told him that he was able to return to life because he might have died because of something other than the blaze. Otherwise, it is impossible to be reborn. Jaehee knows his master might be a scarecrow, but she is not sure if she should tell the truth. Jaehee asked him about what happened here exactly, as Mesquite told her that a branch of the world tree can't be easily defeated by the blaze. He is concerned to share the information about the 28th terrarium, but realizing Jaehee's is his master, he shares that the world tree doesn't allow the blaze to enter in regular circumstances, as they know, but the world tree has been suffering from a disease for the past few years. The branches of the world tree started to dry and were losing their light continuously. The world tree is unable to produce new berries, which leads to a lack of berries in the orchard, and because of this, Druid stops coming to the orchard. They have tried to hide this, but eventually everyone got to know about it and left the town in fear. Jaehee wants to know about the disease, but he has only the information that it also affects the dryads, so he is disallowed to get near the branch of the world tree. But his soul is tied to the branch of the world tree, so he also starts to weaken, and he feels like his blood has sucked out of his body. Jaehee asked him if the situation was that bad and why they didn't ask for help from other terrariums, and the reason for that is because if they ask, then the 28th terrarium will lose its power, so it was truly politics. The custodian thought that they could solve this issue on their own, but they all left the place once they found that the terrarium was unstable. However, the 28th terrarium asked for help from the 16th terrarium, where there is an alchemy tower, and they said they were sending something that would resolve the problem, but since then they have never heard from them, and it has been 2 years now. Jaehee has doubts that it could be that carriage that they saw on their way. It has been a year since they had any visitors, and they were all gone like a wind, which results in pressure in terms of diamond income. The druids they dispatched never return, and the place becomes isolated due to an external cause. When the place is attacked by the blaze, they have no one to fight it off, and now the destruction is in front of them. He witnesses that the custodian went out of the walls to protect the terrarium before he died. According to Mesquite, there is only one threat to the World Tree, which is Blaze, and it does not make sense that the World Tree gets sick. Jae-hee is confused about whom to believe, and all of a sudden she hears someone calling her again, but this time she knows the direction in which the voice is coming from. Jae-hee asked if there was something in that direction, and he told her that there was an orchard from where he came. Jae-hee also felt the presence of a gigantic blaze here, so she told them to ensure to avoid it. He knows a way, which is a bit longer, but in order to avoid the blaze, they go that way, and he leads them towards the way. On the way, they saw the gigantic blaze, which seemed like a bug or a larva, but why does the fire take the form of a weaker one? They reached the orchard, which seems like a battlefield compared to the 26th terrarium. The door of the orchard was locked, might have melted with the heat, but Mesquite opened it with the hit. All the things have been ruined, even the branches of the World Tree have burned, but when she picks up a branch, she notices white spots on the branches, and even the sap of the World Tree is covering up the branches, which seems abnormal. Jae-hee asks Mesquite if these are the bugs, but she has no words to say. It seems like the World Tree is really sick, but if it's a disease, then Jae-hee doesn't know what to do. He asked her to take them to the custodian's office, as they might get some information about the disease. They reached the custodian office, and Jae-hee saw a portrait of the scarecrow on the wall, and he was the custodian of the 28th terrarium. In his picture, he is looking younger, but Jae-hee becomes shocked, as he was looking old when she met him. Jae-hee remembered that he said he used his life source to graft for a long time, which might be the reason he aged so soon. Elder got a notebook, but it was burned. However, there are a few pages that are readable. Jae-hee found that it must be the custodian diary, but it is under the condition that she has to flip the pages very carefully. In the diary, Jae-hee found that the bug was unknown and infected the World Tree. The chances of the bug coming from outside are very unlikely because they took great care of the orchard. The bug is unknown. Even the skilled scholars do not know anything about it or where it came from, and the bugs are eating the World Tree at a great speed while there is no way to withstand the blessing of the World Tree. The bugs are adept at surviving. The bugs have no effect of the different pesticides. Even the spells cast by dryads failed on them. The custodian assistant suggests he keep this a secret, and tells them that they can deal with the situation on their own. They asked for help from the 16th terrarium, and they assured them they would send a poisonous herb that has the ability to destroy any life form. The day when the poison had to come has arrived or gone, but it has not come anyway. It is another year when the World Tree was unable to produce berries, and they ran out of diamonds. Hence, there is nothing left but despair. Jae-hee realized that the bug was the cause of everything. The blaze they saw earlier and the gigantic blaze have both taken the shape of the bug because the thing that is powerful here is the bug, either a druid nor a dryad. Mesquite has believed that the World Tree is the most powerful thing in this world, but Jae-hee wants to tell her the truth. As she is about to speak after the World Tree, she hears, "I'm okay," which is said by the World Tree. Jae-hee turns around and says that the World Tree has called out to her, and she hears again that she is the last hope of the World Tree. Jae-hee tells her dryads that the World Tree is alive and there is still hope left. Elder asks Jae-hee if she is okay, and she hears it again. The World Tree is telling her that it's dangerous, as the blaze has sensed its life force. Jae-hee hears the screaming of someone telling her to escape because it's not safe and a gigantic blaze is approaching them. Jae-hee tells her dryads to come out because it's not safe, as the blaze knows the World Tree is still alive and it can't afford to bear the attack again. Red Daisy hides in the artifact, and they come out of the orchard and see the giant. Jae-hee wants to lure the gigantic blaze away from the orchard, as the World Tree can't withstand it this time. Mesquite confirms from Jae-hee that the World Tree was attacked by that blaze, and it has absorbed the power of the World Tree and the dryads. Mesquite suggests they need to escape because they can't stop it. Jae-hee says no, as the World Tree branch is still alive and can't withstand another attack. All she wants is some time so that she can find a way to restore World Tree power. Daisy shows bravery and asks Jaehee to let her distract the blaze as she is the fastest, but Jaehee says it's dangerous, and she doesn't want to put her in danger. Daisy tells Jaehee that she is not afraid and that she has already stepped up to become the queen of the forest. Daisy says to keep faith in her and jumps up to the wall to distract the blaze. Elder said he will stay here as he can support Daisy from this distance, and she will not be defeated easily. Elder supports Daisy's decision that she is right, as she is the fastest among them, and she won't be caught easily as long as she is dodging attacks and running. Jaehee was told to find a way to revive the world tree while they were buying time. Jaehee shows courage and believes in Daisy, and as she turns back towards the world tree, she sees a flash, which is the blaze protective barrier. That's a sign that someone steps up to fight the gigantic blaze, and it's none other than Seedling. Elder and Daisy got stuck in the fire protective barrier because of the Seedling. Mesquite tells Jaehee that Dryads can't use their power to their fullest if they are separated from the Druid. All Jaehee can do is find a way to revive the world tree. It's hard to breathe in the orchard without Elder, and the world tree has not been spoken for a while, maybe because it has used the left power to warn. Jaehee went close to the world tree and asked how she could help her. She asked if it needed diamonds, as it had not received any for a long time. But it's not possible to chew the diamond up to save a tree this huge. The branch of the world tree grabs Jaehee's hands, and its branch turns into a pin. Jaehee tells the gnomes to give the diamonds as much as they can, but as she connects the pin to her phone, she feels her eyes heavy and her ear starts ringing. Mesquite grabs Jaehee as she is falling, and she says to stop because if she is thinking of sacrificing herself to save the world tree, then it is not worth it. Jaehee's soul is unstable, and if she doesn't stop, she might collapse. Jaehee shows courage and collects herself by just thinking it's a headache. Jaehee is feeling better now, and she sees a gigantic funnel in her phone. Jaehee told the gnomes to pour out the diamonds as much as they could, and the diamonds decreased at a rate she had never seen before. The world tree starts regaining its color, but it seems like the dew on its surface is causing its flesh to rot. And she told gnomes as she was thinking of the logic that when a medicine is given more than normal, it becomes poison, but gnomes doesn't stop. However, the world tree branches start shining golden, and the water on the floor takes the ash away. Jaehee also starts to feel better. The surroundings are shining brightly. A tree pot appears on Jaehee's phone screen, and the diamonds are 1 digit smaller, which signifies that the world tree is healed by absorbing the diamonds from Jaehee's wallet. The blaze barrier has disappeared, and there is a protective dome covering the city. It seems like the city has turned into a terrarium artifact. Jaehee follows the destroyed path to find her dryads, and she sees the gigantic blaze. The world tree branches are piercing the blaze, which is a similar skill that Elder used earlier, which might be the world tree branches. Jaehee sees on her phone screen that there is a fountain under the tree pot, and every time gnomes add diamonds to the fountain, the tree sparkles and the branches fly up. The source of power is inside her phone. The diamonds are decreasing at a great speed, but if the tree uses 1,000 diamonds every second, it doesn't matter. Jaehee is feeling honored that her diamonds are used to save the world tree and help it kill the blaze. She reached the battle and saw Seedling looking exhausted and her dryad struggling. Jaehee connects to the Seedling artifact, and she gives potions to Elder and Daisy. He feels better now, as it has been tough to stay separated. Mesquite protects them from the sparks, and Elder gets up to heal them all to end this battle. Elder used mass healing to take care of Seedling Bouquet as well, but this time it's different from before. The golden light is flowing through the healing power, and the dryads feel like they are in the world tree as Jaehee Mesquite feels comfort in her terrarium artifact. Jaehee changes the mane to Daisy, and she attacks the blaze with her new weapon and cuts the blaze into 2 pieces. Mesquite and Daisy step up for the final blow. The blaze was being attacked from both sides, which is reducing its size. Kalmia and Seedling do the graft attack, which pierces the blaze. The surroundings sparkle. The blaze lost its power as the world tree blessing revived. That's why the towns are considered safe. There are lots of diamonds that appeared on the site of the blaze that represent the number of people who died here. It seems like the blaze has swallowed up the whole town, Elder eyes start shining seeing the diamonds. And probably he will pass off if Jae-hee tells him the number of diamonds she used to revive the world tree. Jae-hee just has to report the outcome, and then the quest will be ended. Belladonna praises Elder. If he were not, then they would have lost. She asked Jae-hee if she knew how a dead branch of the world tree came back to life, but she didn't want to talk to a bouquet, because of which she got separated from her dryads. Belladonna has good intentions, but Jae-hee was so concerned about her dryads. The Brazilian has sensed another power, which might be Jae-hee, and he was wondering since she created the healing rain through diamonds. They have lots of druids, but there is no one who is even quite like her. Jae-hee has doubts about whether she has drawn out her artifact power subconsciously. Mallow tells his friends that Jae-hee is not happy with them because they behaved rashly. Seedling steps up towards Jae-hee, and she is expecting that he is going to say something offensive again, but he just stands firm without saying anything. Jae-hee received a notification on her phone. It is a notice of transferring custodian rights to Jae-hee, and now she is a temporary custodian who is now considered the hero of the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee might have purchased a share of the terrarium when she gave the diamonds to the world tree. She is the #1 gardener who has authority over matters in the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee can now see all the matters on his phone. In the administration menu, she can see the real-time diamonds the world tree is consuming. Jae-hee can even see the status of the terrarium, the number of blazes outside the terrarium, and the people who are currently in the terrarium. Jae-hee sees in the visitor tab that Seedling is in grade 7 and a special visitor. Belladonna told Jae-hee that she told Seedling last time not to speak, that's why he is just standing, and as she allowed him, he says he is worried about her, but Jae-hee is busy exploring new options on her phone. Seedling starts speaking rudely, and Jae-hee also becomes offensive. The environment became hot, and she got an opportunity to use her new authority. Jae-hee asked Seedling if he had been expelled before from the terrarium, and Belladonna said that they had once because of Seedling's offensive words. Jae-hee expelled Seedling from the terrarium because he is in grade 7, and those lower than grade 5 are not allowed in the terrarium. Jae-hee tells Mesquite that she has become the 28th terrarium temporary custodian, and she has to go to the 26th terrarium to complete the quest, then to the 18th terrarium to report. Jae-hee allows Elder to take all the diamonds. As Elder went to take the diamonds, Jae-hee told Daisy and Mesquite that she had used at least 1,000,000 diamonds today, which shocked Daisy. Red Daisy came out of the artifact, and she never thought they would be able to defeat the blaze. He told Jae-hee that they need to restore the village and bring things back to normal, but for that, they need the villagers to come back. Jae-hee is confused about where this started and how to restore the village. Red Daisy had worked in the orchard, so Jae-hee asked him, and he advised that they should adjust the tax level to be low so that people from nearby terrariums come to the 28th terrarium, as people have to pay tax either in full payments or installments. Jae-hee said she will not charge any tax from the people, and she will approve all residency as they want people to do all sorts of jobs, but she will charge tax from those who don't contribute to the economy to keep the matter fair. He is shocked because Jae-hee is not taking tax, but she is not taking it because her wallet is not going to run out of diamonds. He is concerned because, in order to maintain the world tree, enormous amounts of diamonds are required, but Jae-hee's diamond production is far more than her consumption, so it's not a problem at all for her. Elder taps Jae-hee back and shows her an ring. Red Daisy said that it's a unique product of the 28th terrarium, but no one had found it before, and even the previous custodian thought it was a myth, but Elder got it from the bunch of diamonds, which is a ring made up of diamonds. Mesquite said it's an everlasting diamond, a birthstone like the Elder's ruby ring. This belongs to the month of April and represents the sun. Jae-hee realized that Mesquite and Daisy both had a battle bonus month in April, but it confuses her to whom she gives the ring. Mesquite suggests giving it to Daisy, as she is powerful enough, but Daisy suggests that if Mesquite wears it, she will become more powerful. Mesquite leaves the decision to Jae-hee, and she gives the ring to Daisy as she requires, and Mesquite also wants the same. Jae-hee removed the tax, and now she can expect many villagers to come. Jae-hee needs to go to the 26th terrarium to complete the quest, and she also needs to visit the 18th terrarium to become the permanent custodian. Jae-hee doesn't want to leave the terrarium empty while the world tree is revived and can protect the terrarium. Red Daisy suggests that if she allows, then he would like to take care of the place, but Jae-hee is surprised a bit as she doesn't need to stay together. The 28th terrarium is linked to Jae-hee's artifact, so as long as he is in this terrarium, he can roam around, and all he has to do is ensure his soul is connected to Jae-hee's soul. He asked for permission to decorate the terrarium, and Jae-hee gave him permission to do whatever he wished for, as a terrarium with red daisies will look beautiful. Jae-hee is seeing the map and looking for the shortcuts so she doesn't have to go from the mountains. She understood that the path between the 26th and 27th terrariums was cut off because there was a carriage blaze roaming there, and it was dangerous. Jae-hee wonders why the 29th terrarium didn't come for help, suspecting that there is something between the 28th and 29th terrariums that is blocking the path between the two. Jae-hee is concerned that the villagers will not come from the 29th terrarium if the path is not fine, so she wants to check once before heading off to the 26th terrarium. They are ready to leave to check the path. Red Daisy told Jae-hee as she is worried about the terrarium, just take a look at her artifact. And Red Daisy staying at the 28th terrarium is no different than staying in her artifact, so whenever she wants to talk to him, she can do so just by looking at the terrarium. Jae-hee is able to see the whole terrarium at a glance. Jae-hee steps out of the terrarium and wonders to see the seedling with his bouquet while she has already expelled them. Kalmia apologized to Jae-hee on behalf of Seedling, but she suggested that they baby him so much, which makes the situation even worse. For Seedling Dryads, he is still a baby, but after lots of tries to change him and adapt, they got no change. Kalmia told her that she has been the first to put up with him for a long time, while other druids don't approach him because of his appearance and behavior. According to Kalmia, Seedling can have a regular conversation with Jae-hee, but she doesn't seem interested. Kalmia apologized once again and told them that she would not see them until she visited the 16th terrarium. Seedling got a new mission. There was something that was needed to deliver to the 28th terrarium from the alchemy tower but was not delivered, and if this is the case, then the delivery must be retrieved because it's something dangerous. They realized that it was burned and destroyed, so their mission was completed, and they are returning. Jae-hee realized that she had read that's all in Scarecrow's diary. Plus the carriage and the boxes with skeleton marks might be the pesticide that the alchemy tower of the 16th terrarium was sending to kill the pest that was eating the world tree branches. The delivery never arrived, but Scarecrow just waited and never found out that the alchemy tower kept its promise and responded. Jae-hee wonders what the pesticide is made of and how powerful it can be. Seedling left to return, and Jae-hee also stepped up to their task. This time is much easier for Jae-hee Bouquet to fight the blazes compared to when she left the 26th terrarium, as they have leveled up now and her dryads are powerful now. Fighting blazes is so easy for Daisy as she is powerful, but still, Mesquite can lift up Daisy. Mesquite found a pile of ashes, and Jae-hee confirmed the route from Elder to avoid the swamps. It's confirmed a battle took place here, but it's not Blaze. It could be possible that a blaze passed through this area, but the remains have a lash mark, signifying that it was made of something sharp. Jae-hee suspects it was a fight between the people, or the dryads. Elder tells them there are no corpses, which means the victor might have gotten rid of them or they were able to escape. It could be something that Jae-hee is worried about that made her come here to check. There is something besides the blaze that is intelligent and wicked. Daisy got a cape of someone belonging to the 28th terrarium, which might be a messenger that Scarecrow sent. The question arises, how can someone be so cruel as to take the life of an innocent civilian, and why? Jae-hee is worried because those who are intelligent enough can be more dangerous than monsters. Jae-hee feels that she must hide the fact that she is the administrator of the 28th terrarium. Mesquite tells them that whatever they ran into was related to the 28th terrarium, including the burnt carriage, so could it be possible that it is related to the disease that infected the world tree? Jae-hee feels it's more complicated than the bugs, It almost feels like someone has planned to kill the branches of the world tree. Mesquite suggests they should go and find out what's happening there. They are passing through the puddles of water, but the smell there is revolting, and Elder is surprised to see the marsh here as the 28th terrarium lost its power, so the water should have dried up. Mesquite said it's definitely strange, and there must be a force protecting this area from the effects of the blaze, like the queen of the dandelion. Mesquite found a corpse with a mark of 16th terrarium, and he has a pouch in his hand that seems to be stolen, which has the same soil as they found in the boxes with the danger mark. Mesquite suggests getting away from there soon, as she feels something that even Elder can't handle. Elder has the ability to heal, but he can't detoxify. Elders are weak against poison, which continues to eat away at life, and the scariest thing about poison is that its potency increases rapidly if it is not dealt with. Jaehee thinks it's a problem that their party has no one to remove the debuff sand, as she says to go back. They get attacked. Mesquite defends with the shield, and Elder uses his sand walls. Mesquite said it's risky to stay in one place because the droplets will soon absorb in the air. They are trying to turn the area into their own while the attack was quite like a punch, but the ultimate goal is to eat away at life. Jaehee is at the greatest risk, but if she manages to hold, then the result might turn positive. The poison sparkles, flutters, and turns into moths. Elder alerts them to avoid them and doesn't let them touch, and Daisy tells Jaehee that these just appear to be moths. Elder was wrong that someone is trying to take this area because this area is already under the control of someone, and the person behind it might have stored their power in this area. They realize that the whole place was a trap. The attacker tries hard to debuff them. The powder is falling from the moths, and others are emitting smoke from the water on the ground. Daisy is fine, as she has great vitality, and Mesquite has endurance, but Elder is at risk. Elder's skin below his eyes has turned purple, and he is focusing the protective barrier on Jaehee while he is healing himself to hold for longer. Jaehee suggests Elder go into the artifact, but it will slow his healing, and staying here is more important for him. Jaehee is finding what she can do, and as she puts her hands in the pockets she finds potions, but she can't use them as there is no physical damage like wounds. Other than that, she got Panacea, which Dandelion has given her, which has the power to heal any disease. Jaehee tells Elder to drink the Panacea, but he rejects it as he still has healing abilities and they have to wait until the poison surpasses his strength. Elder tells Jaehee that she should drink it because she should not forget that she is their small world tree and that she is the most important to them. Elder said that as she drinks the Panacea, the power of it will flow through her and reach them, but he suggests drinking at the last moment when Daisy and Mesquite will also get affected. Jaehee realized the attack was coming from only one direction and told Daisy to attack in that direction. Suddenly, the poison stopped. Mesquite said it's a wild dryad there, and it seems like the dryad is unable to sense that there is a druid. Elder says that it's impossible at this distance for a dryad to not sense a druid, as Jaehee's soul is quite large now. Daisy agrees with Elder, and the poison starts attacking again. Elder used a protective barrier, and Daisy went to draw it out. Daisy stabbed the dryad and fell down. Mesquite caught Daisy, and her eyes turned purple. Jaehee drank the Panacea, and they felt refreshed. Mesquite told them that as long as the dandelion leaves are around us, they are protected by the poison. The dryad appears to be a kid. Although the dryad is in a seedling state, Mesquite is still angry as she attacked Jaehee and attacked her using her weapon, but she dodged it easily. The attacks are getting worse, and the disadvantage is that their enemy has control over the place. Daisy says that the enemy is scared, because of which it is using whatever it can, which leaves no direction. Jaehee is observing the situation. The Panacea effect will not last for so long, but they have half of Panacea left, so they have a chance. Jaehee knows that the plant is poisonous, as the alchemy tower sent poison to kill the pest. Jaehee observes the appearance of the dryad, and she recognizes that it's monk's hood and that it's the only poisonous plant she is aware of, but still, the information is of no use as she doesn't know its weakness. Jaehee feels the dandelion staff start vibrating all of a sudden, and she remembers what Dandelion said to her, that it contains the power of divine revelation. It has to be able to awaken a new power using a special power. The staff hasn't reacted with Jaehee's dryads, but it is reacting with Monk's hood. Jaehee has a theory that Monk's hood has been used as a poison in the past as well as an ingredient in herbal medicine. Jaehee wants to try this because there is nothing to lose. She told Mesquite to create the earthquake while it didn't affect the moth, but she got a chance. Jaehee gave the staff to Daisy and told her to use it on the dryad. Jaehee climbs to Elder, Mesquite creates the earthquake, and Daisy jumps up, smashing the fragment of staff on the dryad head. Daisy wants to end this up, but Jaehee stops her. The moths and the poison have disappeared. Monk's hood has awakened a new power, and as we see, Jaehee has no intention to kill her, and Elder realizes that. Jaehee asked her if her mother plant is Monk's hood, to which she said she was waiting for the moment when they would reach the new place with the siblings she was born with, but it turned out to be the only one that had survived. She was crying because she was afraid, and when a warm light as the one now visited her, she said that she received legs, but she didn't know where to go as she was afraid of the big blaze lurking around outside. The blessing of the world tree faded with time, and fear took its place. The fading of the world tree blessing signifies that the dryad is nearing its death. When she settled in the area, the swamp became a land of the dead, and there was no one who had visited her before. Monk's hood knows her power has harmed the ecosystem, and she hates being alone, but still she continues to hide, which makes Jaehee wonder if she can handle such a child. She extended her hand, and she felt like she was reborn. Monk's hood has never felt that warm since the day she was born, as it's because of the soul that will become her home. She had been there since the day she was born, and everything was wet and dark. She remembered that she had met something extremely hot while she was on her way somewhere, traveling on a shaky ride. On the other hand, Jaehee understands, but she is thinking that if the Monk's hood plant had been reached on time, they would have been able to avoid the worst scenarios that have already happened now, as the town has burned out badly. Jaehee is estimating, considering the moment when Alpine Monk's hood was frightening them, that the mother plant of the Monk's hood could have sufficient to kill and destroy the bugs. They came back after ensuring the safety of the connecting route to the 29th terrarium. Red Daisy welcomes Jaehee and shows her the way to the room she prepared for them. Moreover, Jaehee appreciated him for taking care of the town until she arrived, and he is very excited to recover the town's state to its normal state, wishing skilled engineers could take care of the rubble. He is not so skilled, but whatever he is able to do, he does, as the outer walls are burned badly, but still, there are several areas that could be saved. He has many things to say and talk about. Similarly, they harvest the ripe berry through her soul, and they mark the wild dryad with it, making her recognize her as the master. The berries start to get warm. Monk's hood seedling asks what she wants to do, and Jaehee tells her that she decided to take her in and asks if she wants to join them. She went close and found a yellow feather in the ashes, which seemed vibrant to the forest because of its colors. It can be a bird if she makes assumptions, as the forest features make it attractive for birds, but Mesquite didn't see any birds with such features on their way. Elder says to Jaehee that she is not bound to obey the World Tree decision, even though she can refuse, and asks her to give the berry to him if she doesn't want to keep it, as he will destroy it for her. Jaehee is surprised to hear that because the World Tree has importance for the Dryads, how can they refuse the decision of the World Tree? But soon Jaehee realizes that she is more important for her Dryads than the World Tree, as she is herself a small tree for them. Therefore, Jaehee says to welcome the Monk's hood seedling, as it will be of great help for them as it's a debuffed Dryad and they don't have any. In addition, Mesquite is not as satisfied as others, but Jaehee explains that she is not just following the will of the World Tree. She is doing so because the seedling has to be born that way and she doesn't have a choice, or she chose the path. There is another probability that it might come from elsewhere with the carriage, or it might be the clue of the one who attacked the carriage earlier who puts the scratch marks on the back of the carriage. It might be attacked in the same way as the messenger of the 28th terrarium was attacked. Jaehee must keep that in mind, whomever it is, as it is not the first time it happened. She appreciates Monk's hood for finding the feather, as she never found it without her, and she thanks Jae-hee with a happy smile, calling her Master Chai. Elder has nothing to say, and Daisy says she will become stronger than her. Jae-hee told Daisy that she would be much stronger. Moreover, Jae-hee asked Mesquite how to proceed with the berry, and she told her to ripe it with her soul power. All the dryads are connected to their master's soul before they bloom from berries, and it's a process of introducing one's new master to a dryad. The situation is similar when Jae-hee accepts Daisy into her arms, and she wants to show that a low grade doesn't mean a child doesn't have any potential. Jae-hee didn't want to choose Daisy's fate regardless of the situation she was born in, and it applies here also. In the same vein, this monkhood past doesn't matter to her. Mesquite agreed with the thought that no one would choose to be born that way. Notably, Mesquite confirms to search. Jae-hee says to search and denies Elder to use Lucky Buff to save it for later. Mesquite used her earthquake to find him, and Jae-hee grabbed Elder, and Monkshood holds Jae-hee in order to avoid the earthquake effect. Mesquite found cannabis nearby and verified that the druid was telling the truth, and there are many other dryads who might be their enemies. Consequently, if there are many dryads, then there will be more druids as well, and she knew that it was going to be a drug cartel. Jae-hee is just taking a peek from a safe distance, as it will be helpful for them to tell the authorities the number of criminals, or when they will make a report. She can think perfectly, even though the slap was mild compared to the dangers she faced. When she is thinking that's all, she sees Cannabis and gets that it's Cannabis who is doing something to Jae-hee that is keeping her mind clear even in this situation, and it shows the potential Cannabis has. Now they are leaving the area where the branches of the world tree are balanced, which means they might get threats on the way to the 18th terrarium, from which they are unknown, but Jae-hee is assuming that the journey will be smooth at this rate. Elder asked to follow the butterfly first, but Jae-hee is not in a mood to follow, as they have many things to do and many places to visit, and she needs to go to the 18th terrarium to remove her temporary administrator tag. Thus, they step up for the 18th terrarium, and Jae-hee has taken lots of unripe berries from the 26th terrarium. Who knows if they will get more wild dryads on the way. Furthermore, Elder is looking really sad, and Jae-hee got it, but they need to visit the 18th terrarium first to remove the temporary administrator tag. Jae-hee felt the pain while she didn't even feel the pain equals a single thorn, even in the dangerous battle she had, as it's because her dryads keep her like a princess, and she is feeling that she is nothing without her dryads. Monkshood speaks loudly, crying to don't hurt Master Chai, and the thugs decide to get rid of her, as she looks weaker to them, so they bound her up. Jae-hee is wondering why she didn't feel threatened even in such a terrible situation. Jae-hee said to take a quick look, and if things seem dangerous, they can go to the nearby terrarium to report this incident. Subsequently, the injured man said he would go to the 17th terrarium to report this, and request Jae-hee to look for the culprits before his dryad is killed. She told him to wait, but the injured man went in a hurry, and it seems suspicious to Jae-hee as the man was attacked and leaving alone doesn't bother him, and how could he trust her with his dryad while it's important for him? Thus, Jae-hee used her clear mind to come out of this situation, and she thinks there is really nothing she can do right now as her dryads are taken, but not all her dryads are taken. She has the monkshood, and the thugs will regret the mistake of considering monkshood weak and leaving her with Jae-hee, even though they don't know what monkshood actually is and how dangerous she can be, to be precise, even more than Mesquite. After all, Jae-hee has the one and only strongest dryad Mesquite, who has different abilities, and she is adept at searching to detect dangers. To add to that, Mesquite found that there are a low number of people and all are standing far from each other, and there is a cave where there are 2 people guarding the cave, which might be their hideout. Jae-hee knows that Elder is good at judging people and asked him about the opponent's strength, of which there is 1 normal and a rare dryad. It seems suspicious to Jae-hee, and she can't trust them, so she is thinking of destroying them all using monkshood again. But last time this move worked well because all were crowded, but this time all are standing scattered. Jae-hee is assuming that all are defeated by monkshood, but she has doubts that he said it on purpose. She notices the same scar on the wrist of this man as of March, and also because March said he was going to the 17th terrarium while this man is guiding them to the 18th terrarium, their stories don't line up. Following that, Mesquite asked to head off as they checked whatever they wanted, and Jaehee is ready to leave this task to a bigger bouquet as they discover the enemy hideout and the number of enemies. But before she left, she heard the voice of the injured man asking for help. Moreover, Jaehee speaks slowly to Monkshood, saying that it's the right time to do that and that she is too strong against them. Thugs noticed her speaking something, and Jaehee told them they didn't know how tough it was for her to take her here, as her bouquet doesn't have someone who can debuff. These transparent berries are used to connect the soul of the druid to a wild dryad. The situation itself reveals that the World Tree is aware of the Monkshood seedling's existence. The World Tree might have decided to welcome this seedling into this world while her existence is against the World Tree powers. Nonetheless, Elder wonders why the World Tree wants her master to take a seedling that could potentially harm her. However, it's strange that Jaehee is not feeling afraid while she was being crazy when she saw the thugs abusing cannabis. But now her mind is as clear as a day. Redhead asks Jaehee if she thinks that she will not be caught if she hides in the shadows like a rat, and she says straight away that she will not, and the man slapped her. Two of them are said to prepare a healing dryad and to stay at the cave for watching. Others went to look for a small blaze to burn the cannabis. Jaehee is watching. That's all hidden with her dryads, and Mesquite is worried while Jaehee is thinking of grabbing cannabis and running away as there are only 2 druids and 4 dryads. Elder said it's a shame for dryad to die after being used like that instead of dying while protecting their master. Thugs are showing cruelty to force her to use her special power, and told her that as long as she will use the special power, the thugs will sell her in one piece. Otherwise, they will cut her into pieces or burn her in small pieces while keeping her alive so that they will take her full use. In response, the man puts a ring on the Jaehee terrarium artifact, saying that they can't do anything if he puts it on her. The thugs force her dryads aside from Jaehee and Monkshood by showing the blade. Thugs are thinking of stealing the diamonds from her, but they cannot get the diamonds until the owner wants them, and for that, they are planning to hurt her dryads one by one until she gives them diamonds, even though they have evil intentions to use her as a slave. Jaehee becomes serious, but Mesquite says it's just a saying that elder plants used to frighten the seedlings. The unripe berries also bloom at the tips of the World Tree branches, as do others. In contrast, at the tips, the growth is slowed, which makes it harder for the berries to receive dryad information, and if they ripen in that way, then they become the nutrient berries instead. The berries that fall from the World Tree before they are ripe seem useless, but they also have some purpose as they have the blessings of the World Tree. Dryads can heal humans directly, and humans must help each other at such moments, and that's where the need for such species comes. The injured person totally agrees with Mesquite, as his dryad, cannabis, is required by the doctors for medical purposes such as pain relief and stabilization, but at the same time, evil people also need it for evil purposes. Jaehee asked if cannabis is a drug, and the answer was yes, it is, and its other name is marijuana, which she recognized as the weed. Jaehee is feeling the need to do justice, and she asks if they can manage to get rid of the watching men and ensure that cannabis is alive or not. Mesquite asks Jaehee to promise her that she will prioritize her safety first in any situation, and that she will leave if the situation seems too bad. She promised without even thinking and moved quickly. Jaehee realized that it was a trap, and the thugs were lying when they said they were going to catch a blaze. It was a plan to catch Jaehee with her dryads. It seems that she has underestimated the thugs. As a result, they are trapped. The red-headed man warns Mesquite and Daisy to don't take any action, otherwise her druid will be killed. Mesquite becomes angry hearing that, and warns back that if they do anything with her master, then she will destroy all of them. The watching men sense someone, but before they take action, Daisy attacks them and kills them in one blow. Jaehee knows it's a game, but she is not used to seeing people die in front of her. While it all unfolded so smoothly, as her dryads are pretty strong, but still, it should not be that easy while it seems dangerous and suspicious now. Jaehee is hearing whatever's happening, and she finds that it's Cannabis who is rejecting thugs and that she will not use her power for a sinister purpose. In this scenario, there will be a chance that there is a gang or mafia involved, and it seems like an RPG game turned out to be a criminal series. Given this situation, Jae-hee is concerned, and she doesn't want to be involved in this case as it's not a task for a regular civilian. But the person requested that it's a seedling and the thugs didn't get far away. Hearing it's a child, Jae-hee's soft heart forces her to at least take a look from a safe distance, as Mesquite is proficient at searching. Mesquite asks to confirm, as Jae-hee is not sure about it. Moreover, she is concerned now because dealing with the blaze seems like a game, but when actual people are involved, it seems more real. Hearing that, Jae-hee understood that she might have heard her other dryads calling her, and she was trying to copy them. Jae-hee told her to speak again, but she still called her Master Chai 2 more times. Jae-hee sees if she has any potions that can be of help to him. Jae-hee has an emergency kit, but the condition is so serious that he needs to go to the hospital as her dryads can't do it for him. The person tells her that if he loses her dryad, then something terrible is going to happen. Jae-hee wonders what type of dryad it is, and he can't call the dryad with his terrarium artifact. But when she takes a look at his hand, she realizes that his artifact is missing, and instead there are burnt marks at the place of the terrarium. The berry is not ripe yet, and Jae-hee asked how she got this berry, and Mesquite says someone has given it to her, but who and when? Jae-hee tells them that she had a dream where she saw this berry hanging on the tip of the black branch, and she picked up the berry because she felt so. Jae-hee is worried about cannabis as she is a seedling, and seeing it in pain is the same as seeing a human child in such a serious situation for her, and she can't just leave her while she knows what is going to happen to her. In the meantime, Mesquite tells her that their souls are communicating better than usual because Jae-hee is feeling more relaxed and stable. Jae-hee feels it's a dangerous ability, and she must be careful to avoid getting addicted to that power. Jae-hee is surprised that Elder read her mind, and he says that because her thoughts are running through their minds. But Mesquite explains to not worry as they will come back to normal once cannabis stops using her power. In light of this, Mesquite is ready to do whatever Jae-hee wants, but she suggested Jae-hee to hide while they were taking care of the rest. The enemies don't appear to be strong, as Mesquite and Daisy are sufficient to handle them, while Elder and Monkshood stay with Jae-hee just for her safety. Mesquite and Daisy leave to fight, and as they are gone, someone attacks the Elder, and he closes his eyes in pain. At the same time, someone took Jae-hee as the hostage, putting a knife on her neck. He told them that it's cannabis, and some thugs had taken it from him, and they were going to use her for a terrible purpose. Mesquite has never heard a plant name like that, and his fear has become a reality that there are many species of mother plants that are harmful to humans, and Monkshood and Belladonna, whom they met earlier, are examples of them. This is the first time Jae-hee has touched this berry. On the contrary, Elder said that one can't pick the unripe berry from the world tree branches, but it's a saying that unripe berries fall from the branches of the world tree like raindrops when the tree collapses. They reached the 26th terrarium and met the manager who had given Jae-hee the quest. Upon meeting, the manager was worried if Jae-hee got hurt while she became the administrator of the 28th terrarium, which is an amazing achievement. It was a difficult S-grade quest, but Jae-hee managed to complete it well, and even she became the administrator. Jae-hee comes out of the dream as Mesquite and Elder tap her, and they notice a transparent berry in Jae-hee's hands. She got surprised as she saw the berry in her hand and said that she even didn't know how it had happened. Mesquite said it's not a nutrient berry, and she doesn't sense any life from the berry but the blessing of the world tree. The people with the most destroyed bodies and minds in history are witnesses to treacherous acts. Jae-hee remembered something. The affected even don't recognize that their soul is destroyed as they rely on its power helplessly. A long time ago, the terrariums even had wars against each other because of this issue. When Mesquite was with the world tree, some dryads demanded that such species never leave the world tree, but she was against them because there was a time when their effects were needed. As a reward, she would get a 30% discount when purchasing in the stores of the 26th terrarium. Furthermore, the lodging across all inns will be free at the 26th terrarium. On top of that, Jae-hee can even own shares of this terrarium whenever she wants. Jae-hee opens her eyes and finds herself in a warm, green environment. Mesquite asked her if she is fine, and she told her that Monkshood had to use poison. She realized that Monkshood is not crying, it means the suppressant is put back. Cannabis thanks Jae-hee for helping her, and she said that she appears young but is resistant to poison as she is made of it too. Jae-hee has a thought about why the cannabis is standing far away, and the thought runs into Elder, who tells her that it's because her existence alone affects her as she used her power on Jae-hee. Plus she can't control her power as her master is not with her. Jae-hee got an alert on her phone, and she has received a thank you message for saving the 26th terrarium from the fire. In addition, she also got a message in which it is written that her authority has been promoted to grade 4 gardener, which is so high that no one has reached grade 4 yet in the 26th terrarium. Monkshood is still a child, and it bothers Jae-hee, and to her knowledge, Monkshood attacked her because she was afraid. However, Jae-hee wonders if the World Tree really wants her to return. Moreover, her terrarium shone brightly, and she saw the same berry as she had seen in her dream, which is transparent. Even there are substances that are worse than the poison or acids. These plants have the capability to turn a soul into an aura of death, which permanently damages the opponent and leaves no way for recovery. The effect of it is so powerful that a small world tree can't resist and will never pull back up. However, Jae-hee is thinking it was an accident, as the area is rocky, so the probability of something bad is quite high. Jae-hee followed the signal and found a man lying down on the ground who seemed injured. Moreover, Jae-hee thought to use it on Elder, as Mesquite is already strong. However, she is confused now with the bunch of thoughts, so she just opened the cage and let the butterfly select its honey mate. As expected, the butterfly went to Mesquite, but soon the expectations turned out to be wrong when the butterfly went close to Daisy, as she is more developed now, but Elder is the higher guard, and the butterfly sat on his shoulder, showing that the butterfly had selected him as the honey mate. Jae-hee becomes surprised to know that, as the man had lied to her and told her that he was going to the 17th terrarium. Cannabis tells them that she is staying at the academy in 18th terrarium, and she got kidnapped when the academy was attacked, but she got kidnapped again while she was being transported. March was the man who intended to kidnap Cannabis, and when he got attacked, he used Jae-hee bouquet for the sake of kidnapping by pretending to be the master of Cannabis. Jae-hee was lucky that thugs underestimated Monkshood, and she thanked her for her amazing performance. All Monkshood needs to learn now is to control her power without the need for suppressants. Subsequently, Jae-hee asked Cannabis to take her back to her druid named March, whom they met on the way, but she told her that her master is neither a man nor her name is March. Additionally, the man mentioned that there is a main crew, so Jae-hee has no idea how many there are in numbers, and they were lucky because last time there were no dryads that were immune to poison. Jae-hee is concerned because she has endless diamonds, so she is thinking of the best way to escape. She stares at Elder and, through her thoughts, tells him to use his lucky buff on her. Elder understood, and Jae-hee asked them if they should pay right now. Jae-hee asked curiously to Mesquite why the butterfly skipped her while, when it comes to grade, Mesquite had the highest. She explains that the butterfly will get nothing, as she is the only mother plant from which it can receive energy. Jae-hee is surprised to know that there are no wild velvet mesquites in this world, and she has the one and only most powerful dryad. But the wounds don't look like they were sustained because of the fall and seem more like a battle. Jae-hee asked Elder if he could heal him, but he can only use it on dryads, and it's even more difficult because his soul is not connected to him as Jae-hee. She told him to do whatever he could, as they couldn't leave him in such a condition. The person speaks out in pain, asking for help, and Jae-hee replies that she is coming, but he has to stay still as her dryads are very sensitive to her master's safety. The person wearing a white gown seems more like a doctor or a lab worker. All plants are born and raised on the land blessed by the world tree, and they must learn the rules of nature. It can be seen as the Society of Dryads, where they learn the rules as they are born. Additionally, if the dryad-like monkshood increase in number, then they will continue to attack the druids, while real dryad will never hurt druids. Elder is a powerful healer, And even if he can't resist this monkshood poison, so how will their healer if they have any? The paralysis spell they used on Elder doesn't even work on monkshood, as no poison works on her, as she herself is a strong poison. This underscores the resilience of monkshood. Jaehee Bouquet is not affected by monkshood, as their souls are connected to her. Mesquite lifts Jaehee, and she doesn't have the courage to look at Mesquite. She tells her that she is completely fine. The manager suggests Jaehee, if she has already selected a dryad as the honeymate of the butterfly, return all the dryads except the selected one, because the butterfly will fly to the one with the strongest scent. Subsequently, Jaehee understood that the butterfly will go to the mesquite as she is the strongest one, and if there is a mesquite forest, then she will become more stronger. Jaehee wanted to use it on Daisy, but she knows that finding daisies is easy to do and doesn't even require a butterfly. Elder and mesquite intentions fall like lightning strikes on Jaehee because they are intended to kill the monkshood, while he does not agree with them. Although artificial enhancement is common on Earth, but in this world, it's a forbidden act. Jaehee is having a bad feeling seeing it, as it is the same alarm that she received from Scarecrow for help. Elder asked about it, and Jaehee said that someone was calling them for help. Mesquite didn't sense any blaze nearby, and she is wondering what else other than blaze can harm the druid. Meanwhile, a young man came there, saying that he came for help because someone had filed a report. Jaehee remembered that the man named March said he was going to file a report at the 17th terrarium, but the man was saying that he would guide them to the 18th terrarium. The young man says that he will bring cannabis with himself, and asks how they rescued her. Elder told them that they had secretly escaped with her, and the thugs must be finding them. The man asked for the hideout, and told his mates to go check out the area, and he would bring cannabis with him and join the main crew. Furthermore, Elder suggests killing monkshood as it would be the same as what the world tree wants, and Mesquite says that as the monkshood is returned to the world tree, new information will be registered about it. At the same time, she got an alert on her phone showing that her artifact is connecting to the artifact network named March, and another notification showed that the nearby artifact network emergency rescue mode had been activated and the connection had been prioritized. It sounds pretty good to be the first grade 4 gardener, but she already owns the whole 28th terrarium, and there is another thing she is concerned about, the butterfly, which is the quest completion reward. The manager asked for a moment, and another man came with the butterfly closed in a cage. The wings of the butterfly are golden and sparkling, which seems beautiful. Jaehee asked if the thugs had, but before the thugs understood something, she removed the sub-present from the monk's hood cover and used her poison. Consequently, the surroundings fill with purple butterflies, and they spread the poison. The butterflies attack the thugs, and their eyes turn purple. As they get affected, they start falling. The redhead wants to stop Monkshood, but it's too late as he got affected. Seedling and his bouquet must be in the 16th terrarium. It felt like some cosmic joke, a twist of fate. They never imagined there would come a day when they had to go to a terrarium where Seedling was residing. Jaehee swore that she would never see them again, but now it seems there is a probability of meeting them again. In conclusion, it's a relief for Jaehee that she didn't remember, and she steps up to take a look at the carriage, as there is a chance that she will find more clues regarding the incident that happened in the 28th terrarium. Daisy lifts the wood pieces aside, and Monkshood stares in the same direction. Jaehee also doesn't want to run into any trouble, and she asked Monkshood if she remembered anything about it, but luckily she didn't know anything that happened. All she knows is that she was carried somewhere, and on the way she met something extremely hot because she didn't retain all the memories. Now that they thought about it, it seemed like a great idea. Furthermore, they have more places to go now. They remembered someone mentioning that the alchemy tower was in the 16th terrarium. In addition, since they were already heading to the 18th terrarium, they figured they could visit it along the way. Furthermore, they reached the place where they battled with the carriage Blaze. Daisy signals towards the destroyed carriage lying on the ground. Jaehee is concerned if it is fine for Monkshood to see the carriage, as it is the place where other Monkshood were burned by the blaze. Jaehee is able to see all the information regarding Monkshood on her phone as the marble slab of the greenhouse, while all call it a wallet, but it is no other than a regular smartphone. Moreover, alpine monkshood is similar to its mother plant but not exactly the same. Jae-hee is unable to access some information, which is bothering her. Hearing that, Mesquite suggests to Jae-hee that they should visit the alchemy tower where the alpine monkshood was born, as they might have all the information regarding this seedling. Additionally, Mesquite also suggests checking whether artificial improvements are common there or if the alchemy tower is doing it hiddenly, as what they did is illegal and they have to pay for it. However, Elder suggests cleaning it up, as it would be better if they were the only ones who knew about the secret events that took place in the 28th terrarium. Additionally, Mesquite also agrees with them, as it's a question of Jae-hee's safety. Moreover, others will easily get clues from it as Jae-hee deduces through it. She is an improved version of monkhood, so she shares similar features, which provides a high probability that she will receive a bonus in the month of September. She can be poison as well as medicine, depending on the situation she is in. The flower has various names other than monkshood, plus there are many mysterious stories and further information, but Jae-hee can't access it now. Jae-hee didn't say anything about that because she knows that the Dryads believe the world tree will never collapse, because of which she hesitated to speak. That's all, assuming that the Dryads would be mad on her for speaking such nonsense. But when she realized something at the moment, when she accepted monkshood to the bouquet, that the thing that is more important than the world tree for her Dryads is their master, a small world tree. Jae-hee put the staff back on her hood, and she stopped crying. But when she asked her the reason for crying, she said that she was reminded of the moment when she was alone. On the contrary, Elder says it's about the affection level, as her properties changed when she connected her soul to monkhood, so she feels secure now, but her other part still feels that she is alone. Jae-hee is wondering what the term, turnover form, means. The monkshood dryad is looking like a healer for now, and she started looking for a way through which her mode could be switched. However, Jae-hee found the staff inserted in her hood, which might be the reason why she changed into a healer. As she removed the staff from her hood, she burst with tears and started crying loudly, which shattered Jae-hee's eardrums. In contrast, Jae-hee came to the conclusion based on the details that were written in the diary of the previous administrator that someone intendedly isolated the 28th terrarium in order to kill the world tree, while the world tree that was all believed to be the most powerful was affected by mere bugs. Jae-hee puts the berry in her hand, thinking that she should believe in herself, and she is sure that her soul is big enough for monkshood to let her plant the roots. A flash covered her up, and Jae-hee got an alert on her phone. The screen is showing her details of the alpine monkshood, that her nickname is the Queen of the Poison. The field rate is none as it's man-made, which means she can't make a forest. Her characteristics are offensive, and the grade is unknown but estimated to be higher than unique. Elder also says she is a troublesome one, and they can't do anything now because Jae-hee has already connected her soul to her. Jae-hee has to take baby steps with her, and the distance will be reduced as she develops. Therefore, Jae-hee sees the affection level as her new tough assignment, which she has to overcome. It's Jae-hee, in which her dryads have blind faith. Mesquite and Elder agree with the conclusion, and he asked why she hadn't told them before. Daisy is worried that her master will be in more danger, as all of Jae-hee's dryads are worried for her rather than anything else. Nevertheless, Jae-hee is feeling embarrassed, but Mesquite apologizes to her, as she didn't understand her concern before. They promise to not keep anything secret from now on with each other. The sun is up, and it's a bright, warm day. Jae-hee is seeing the map for the fastest way to reach the 26th terrarium, and they have to make their way across the mountains before the day ends. They have gone across the mountains before, so it will be the easiest and fastest route for them, as they are aware of it. It is the cutest assignment Jae-hee has ever gotten. In conclusion, Mesquite asks Jae-hee if she checked whatever she wanted to, but as of now, monkshood is her dryad, so the problem is solved as, because of her, there will be no one who will be able to cross the. Jae-hee asked the man if they should pay now, as she suspected that they came for that. Moreover, Jae-hee told him to cut the act short as there was no one around them. Furthermore, Jae-hee told him the plan was to give an excuse and come to her, as she gave the signal to him. The man came to her, and subsequently, Jae-hee told him that she had already made the down payment and that she was supposed to make the second payment when the cannabis was stolen. Afterwards, she should have arrived at the 18th terrarium with cannabis, and she asked him at which point she would make the final payment for being provided with a safe place to hide. Jae-hee seems to be on the right path, but on the other hand, will the man assume that there is a spy within the organization? Nevertheless, Jae-hee is sure that he will fall for her trap when she offers him a huge sum of diamonds, regardless of whatever he is thinking. Jae-hee laid his trap and told him that she was going to run after she killed the master of cannabis. But these people found them first, resulting in an unexpected situation. Consequently, they needed to make a new agreement, and she asked whatever the down payment was. Jae-hee has no idea about the amount it costs for such things, so she just went with the flow as things were going. He said 100 diamonds, and she got the thought to add a 0 to that amount. She asked if it was 1,000 diamonds, and as expected, the man said yes, it was 1,000 diamonds. Recognizing this, Jae-hee got that the man is sold now but still second, and the final payment is left to discuss. She told him that the second payment was supposed to be doubled, so it would be 2,000 diamonds. Elder got trembled hearing 2,000 diamonds. The man is convinced now, however. Jae-hee is taking every step carefully to ensure she will not seem suspicious, as she has doubts that if she trusts him to pay a large amount easily, she will look so. She asked him in low pitch if he was her guy, as something seemed off. To trap him well and to ensure he is her guy, she told him it's a 10,000 diamond deal. Therefore, how can he forget the down payment? Upon hearing 10,000 diamonds, he assures her that he is her guy, especially since he came alone. Jae-hee asked him the secret code while there is nothing like that, but she made one and asked him what's the third month. He said, March, and she confirmed to him that it's her guy. No matter whatever he is going to say, Jae-hee will say yes for sure, as she is laying a trap for him to hook up, and she can easily come out of this danger. The man murmured something about March, and Jae-hee is thinking of the possibilities she can do, such as she can also cause internal conflict, which will fall on the fake doctor who deceived Jae-hee earlier from where that's all started. Jae-hee confirmed him as her guy and was ready to pay him money through transfer while pretending that she had paid in physical diamonds last time for the down payment, so it seems true while it's not. Jae-hee intentionally told him a larger amount for the final payment, so that he would stay trapped and not try to run after she gave him 2,000 diamonds. With this plan, he will take her to the 18th terrarium to receive the final payment, and she has doubts. At the end, when he receives the payment, he can do anything to her, but she has powerful dryads, so it's not of concern. Additionally, Jae-hee knows that no one can just take out diamonds from her wallet until she wants. Her artifact network connected to his network, and she got to know his name was Kalen. She told him to hurry up, as her boss is an impatient person, and there will be no second deal if the first one doesn't go on in the right manner. Jae-hee seems like a professional dealer at this point. She told him they were providing 10,000 diamonds because he asked for more in order to run away after the completion of this task, and she told him to lie low until he received their next instructions. They left the place in a hurry before the others arrived there. In the meantime, Jae-hee is able to see the castle walls between the shining trees, which must be the 18th terrarium. Kalen told her it's a place where they plan to meet up with the main crew, and Jae-hee asked what she should do. Kalen suggested that she hide for a while, and there is a dryad in his crew who has exceptional detection abilities, so he told her to return all of her dryads to the terrarium artifact as they have powerful auras that can be detected easily. Elder is surprised to hear that, and Jae-hee is also concerned, as it's a bit risky and she wants protection. Kalen will pretend that cannabis is his dryad, but Jae-hee's dryads are powerful, so it will be risky to show them to the crew. Finally, Jae-hee accepts to return her dryads to the artifact, but Elder is not satisfied, though Jae-hee speaks to him through thoughts to go with the flow and believe in the power of money. Mesquite told Jae-hee to not worry, as if things went wrong, they would come out straight. Jae-hee hid behind the rock, and Kalen went to his crew and told them a fake theory. He told his crew that March is a traitor, there is another organization, and he needs help as his crew got attacked, and he doubts if they got far. He pretended that he lost so much strength in the battle, so he was going to report to the boss whatever happened. Jae-hee was afraid that he was going to backstab her at this point. Kaylin gives a signal to Jae-hee by nodding, and he tells her that they will find very soon that he lied, as the ones who came back and those who ran off will soon find that there is something fishy. Therefore, they need to take action before they are caught. They reach the 18th terrarium, where the castle was shining in the sunlight. Kaylin covered cannabis to disguise her and suggested Jae-hee not go to the upper part of the terrarium as there will be more guards because of the attack that happened today. Jae-hee is thinking that's the direction in which she must go. Kaylin told her a way to a building that was empty for so long and suggested she go inside and leave through the back door, then go around the row of shops, where she will find an inn where she can stay for 3 to 4 days to avoid being detected. He also told her that if she leaves the terrarium too soon, she might get caught. Jae-hee thanks him and pretends that she can take care of the things from here as someone is coming to get her. Jae-hee said she will transfer the final payment to him and butter him, saying he is quite competent. Thus, she will put him on good terms with her boss. She told him that they needed to change their communication method further because the previous way was too risky. Kaylin got his final payment and thanked her. Following this, he asked her how she would contact him, and she told him that he was in for the next 10,000 diamond jobs. Even though Jae-hee has no idea what she is talking about, so she is hoping he will speak another way. Kaylin asked her if she meant a hornet. Jae-hee knows that dryads keep butterflies as their pets so that they can navigate, but she is not sure how a hornet will work. He said that he would prepare a hornet's nest in her wallet, while Jae-hee wonders what hornet's nest means. He told her to send him one from the pair by midnight, and as he put himself in grave danger, it's better for him to leave now. Kaylin takes his leave. Mesquite came out of the artifact with a flash and asked Jae-hee what her plan was, as she was in a compromising situation now. Jae-hee said she must meet the administrator of the 18th terrarium so that she can complete her goal of coming here, which is to remove her temporary tag of administrator. Additionally, Jae-hee also needs to return cannabis to her owner. Jae-hee went inside the orchard, which seems bigger and better in comparison to the one in the 26th terrarium. The receptionist welcomed her, and she told her that she came to meet the administrator, but she responded that the administrator was not taking any official appointments today. The receptionist suggests she take a number if she comes to file a complaint. Jae-hee is feeling the difference in the reception compared to how she was treated at the 26th terrarium. She told the receptionist to let the administrator know at least that the temporary administrator of the 28th terrarium came here to discuss some matters. Upon hearing that, the receptionist trembled and told her that, in this case, she would take her to the administrator right away. As they moved to meet the administrator, she saw the stairs shining golden, which seemed profligate. Before they entered, a lady told her in a disciplined way that cannabis has to wait outside because she is not linked to Jae-hee's soul, but she told her to tell the administrator that she has cannabis with her. The administrator allowed them to come in, and Jae-hee's eyes fell on the man sitting in the middle, which must be the administrator, and other people besides him might be the board of directors or something. The administrator apologized for his unpleasant actions and asked her about cannabis. The administrator told her that they delayed her arrest because they confirmed her identity, and she'd be in jail if they weren't able to confirm her identity. Jae-hee is impressed by the administrator that he is to the point, avoiding unnecessary things. Jae-hee told the administrator that she rescued the cannabis, and she requested that he find the cannabis owner without wasting time on the reward or something. She also told him that she is in a tricky situation, and there are many who are after cannabis outside. The lady who was at the door excused Jae-hee and held her hand while Jae-hee was wondering what she was doing. She told the administrator that it's not here, and the administrator murmured that it would be visible if she were a junior. But she can't be high because she was able to enter the administrator's monitoring network while Jae-hee is unaware of it. The administrator apologized to Jae-hee, and he told her that he would send the guards outside of the terrarium and contact the druid, who owns cannabis. The owner is not conscious yet, but she will recover soon. The administrator shows his gratitude on behalf of the Academy and the Medical Association, and he apologizes once again for the abruptness he showed due to the recent attack and tells her that their terrarium will provide her with a generous reward as she rescued cannabis. No one-mind reward, but for Jae-hee, it's not the matter as there is another issue for her right now, which is the temporary tag, and she asked the administrator to assist her on the process as she wanted to remove the temporary status of administrator. The administrator told her the process by which the 28th terrarium will enter the auction, where individuals and organizations from other terrariums can bid if they wish to become the administrator of the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee was assuming that she was the owner and that she needed to report to the 18th terrarium to become the permanent administrator. But things turned out to be different as the 28th terrarium will go for auction as of now. Jae-hee's dreams seemed to be broken now as she was imagining the look of the 28th terrarium with the mall, hospital, and everything, and she thought it would be no more than signing some papers to be the permanent administrator. Moreover, the administrator also told her that the people here are also to bid in the auction for the 28th terrarium. In light of this, Jae-hee sees things as a challenge so that she will not lose her terrarium, whatever it costs her. The price of the bid will start from the amount Jae-hee paid to take over the 28th terrarium, and the final selling price will be given to Jae-hee with the deduction of a commission fee that will go to the 18th terrarium account as it is taking care of the event. According to the administrator, it will be a win-win situation for both parties if Jae-hee sells the terrarium to one of the individuals who are sitting there. But she doesn't want to sell, and she intended to buy her terrarium herself. One of the individuals told them that, according to the late administrator of the 28th terrarium, the branch of the world tree is severely damaged, that it couldn't produce berries in the last years, and that the recovery process will take a lot of time and money. It appears that she using a clever trick to demotivate others from buying the 28th terrarium. The administrator told them about the 28th terrarium in good words in response to that lady. He told them that it is one of the 20 terrariums, which is a great advantage. Plus, it's a place where imperishable diamonds were produced, but it was in the past. Additionally, visitors will come again because neighboring terrariums are well established. Another one says that according to the reports, the blazes around the 28th terrarium have risen to a dangerous level, due to which it can't be considered an ideal place until skilled druids visit it. To address this, the administrator gives the solution that they can pay skilled druids to visit. Consequently, the terrarium will cost them more money, and hence the terrarium is not worth the money they will put in. Jae-hee is burning with anger hearing these crazy approaches from them towards her terrarium, as she is putting efforts into it to make it a better place. However, others are just saying whatever they found through reports, but actually they don't have a clear idea about the things that happened in the 28th terrarium. The lady opposed the man, as he was the one who came from the 32nd terrarium. When he heard about the 28th terrarium auction, his administrator always wanted to be a part of the 20th terrarium, and she taunted him, saying that if they really thought they would be able to handle the cost. The man also spoke bitter words in response to hearing that she was the one who sold her gem business to take over the 28th terrarium, and she must be after the imperishable diamonds. They just started to call it a rumor when their true intentions came to light. Jae-hee is hearing, that's all, and she is being impatient, and tells them to start the bid as she is in a hurry. She asked the administrator what she was supposed to do. The administrator told her that they needed to set the starting bid, while Jae-hee seems a bit surprised at this point that he doesn't know the price. Nevertheless, he told her that there is no way they can find out about the financial status of the other terrariums, and all they know is that Jae-hee owns 100% of the 28th terrarium. All beats about the bush. Jae-hee doesn't seem to have knowledge about investments, she will be a pushover, etc. She is able to hear all of that whispering, but it doesn't matter to her. The administrator connects the branch of the 18th terrarium to the branch of the 28th terrarium in order to find out how much Jae-hee has paid to take over the 28th terrarium. They will be able to find out the starting bid price according to the information that will pass through the branch. Jae-hee recognizes the USB-shaped branch, which is the same as the one she saw in the orchard of the 28th terrarium. If one wishes to participate in the auction, all they need to do is connect the USB-shaped branch to their wallet. The overall price of the starting bid will go up because the management fees Jae-hee used at the 26th terrarium will be added to the total cost. The administrator asked Jae-hee to confirm her participation, as selling her terrarium to get diamonds will be a good deal for her. He also suggests that the individuals will offer more diamonds to the World Tree branches and will try their best to win over the branches' hearts. Additionally, the term branch's heart is new to Jae-hee. The number of starting bids is going up rapidly at this time, around 138,080. All are staring at the numbers, and their facial expressions are telling us that the amount is going to be ridiculous. The number reaches 4,450,000, and everyone is wondering how high it will go, and how Jae-hee was able to pay that huge amount from her pocket. The number stops at 8,100,200, and Jae-hee said that she is going to participate in this auction also, and upon hearing that, everyone just got shocked. Jae-hee used her imaginary boss again and told them that there is something she wants to discuss first, and the idea was discussed on the date, as she thinks that some of the ideas that were discussed are something that her boss will consider, and she told them that her boss is an extremely wealthy woman, and she has been looking for investors for a while. Jae-hee said that she can't discuss the ideas right now as she is too busy, and she told them to send their business proposals to them. The administrator also took the bait and told her that he would assist with the process and suggested she use his service, as the commission he was imagining had disappeared now. The auction ended within a few minutes as they saw the amount because there was no competition and never will be. No one was able to pay that much, as there is only Jae-hee, the one who is the richest in this world, as her diamonds come effortlessly. The administrator's approach has changed now towards Jae-hee, and he offered her a VIP and an assistant, but Jae-hee said that he would use the inn gladly, but she doesn't require an assistant. Jae-hee has completed all the work, and now she is wondering where she can get more information about the hornet. She asked Mesquite about hornet, but she knows about the honeybees, which druids used as a postal service by utilizing their ability to return their hives regardless of the distance. Jae-hee's imagination is beyond the level. She is imagining that it's similar to tying a note to a pigeon's leg, but bees are too small to tie letters, as she is comparing the things in her world. Daisy comes out of the artifact and tells her that she knows about hornets, as before she met her, she used the village hall frequently, and once she heard the administrator sending something with the hornet. Jae-hee understood that the druids used the honeybees for postal purposes, while those with administrator status used hornets. Intriguingly, Jae-hee remembered Red Daisy, who might know about matters related to the administrators, as he was bloomed by the administrator first. She remembered that if she wanted to talk to him, all she needed to do was think and look at the artifact. He asked if she reached the 18th terrarium safely, and not only did she reach it, but she also became the official administrator of the 28th terrarium now. She asked him about the hornets, and she questioned if she knew about the bees and the spider webs, as they're all related to each other. Jae-hee knows about the bees but not spider webs, and she is imagining a normal web, but he doesn't mean the normal spider web that one can see with normal eyes. The spider web is a tool used to catch bees that are carrying messages. As a result, all the terrariums should have webs that are used to capture messages from the blacklisted druids in the terrarium, or to capture the bees with certain features. Concluding that the honeybees are not the best way to communicate. Honeybees are cheap and convenient, as many of them can be used at once as long as there is a hive. But they have the disadvantage that they are weak too. On the contrary, hornets are expensive because they are hard to train, and one must have a pair of male and female to use them. Hornets are used to send important messages because they are strong and can't be caught by the spider webs. But the administrator must use messenger if the message is complicated and important. Bees are good for simple messages. Jae-hee asked him where she can get hornets, but he has no idea about it because hornets are banned in most of the terrariums, but people use them secretly. She understands now that it's illegal, but what can she do? As she is thinking of the way, a lady appears at the back and asks if she needs the hornets. She told her that she has what Jae-hee is looking for, but she wonders who she is. She shows Jae-hee her ID card so she can trust her. The lady's name is Loop, and she is a first-grade researcher working in the alchemy tower of the 18th terrarium. Jae-hee understands that there is an alchemy tower, but she does not look like a trustworthy person. She said that she has a super hornet on which she is researching, but it's still in the testing stage. She is calling it her best work, as she puts every piece of knowledge about alchemy she has into it. Jae-hee is not in a mood to wait for her research to be completed. Loop requested that she at least have a look at her hornet at the alchemy tower and give her a chance, as she has a huge debt to pay. Mesquite suggests moving on, as she doesn't seem trustworthy, but Jae-hee wants to see how an alchemy tower looks. Alchemists can make the potions and the dandelion panacea bottles. They reached the alchemy tower, but as the security was tight, Jae-hee couldn't go in. Loop presented her as her sponsor, but Jae-hee had to donate it to become the sponsor. There were many plans, but Jae-hee bought the 2,000 diamond one. In this plan, she is allowed to enter any alchemy tower except the restricted ones, but she forgot that she has to go along with Loop's story. Loop welcomes Jae-hee, calling her mentor in her lab, which seems more like a mess. She shows Jae-hee the hornets kept in a container. Chapter 54. It seems creepy to Jae-hee using hornets as a messenger. Moreover, these hornets are more powerful than others, and spider webs are nothing to them. Loop has programmed the hornets with the unique characteristic that they can devour bees. But not only bees but even other hornets. By releasing one and extending their delivery period, it will result in the whole colony being destroyed. But she is not looking for such hornets, as all she wants is to send and receive messages. And that's the reason Alchemy Tower did not approve her research. Loop tells Jae-hee about another project she is working on but is unable to complete due to a lack of funds. Jae-hee asked how much she needed, and she said 4,000 diamonds. Jae-hee shows gratitude and asks if 4,000 diamonds will be sufficient, including her debt. Loop seems emotional and says that with that sum, she can take her family to the 30s terrarium, as the terrarium she belongs to becomes dangerous due to the blaze. She can support her sibling druid with that, as her family depends on her for their needs as she is the breadwinner. Jae-hee is feeling really bad for her, and she offered to move her family to the 28th terrarium, which is a dream come true for her. Jae-hee asked about her parents' profession, and she told her that they are jewelers, but that doesn't make them good. Upon hearing that, Jae-hee offers her 1,000 more diamonds and tells her that there is no tax for the productive workers in her terrarium, but they have to make their home in the terrarium as all things are destroyed. Loop is suspicious of these terms, but when Jae-hee tells her that she is the administrator, she gets surprised and believes in her. Loop told Jae-hee that she can even turn the hornet's purpose into infection by adding parasites to it, and then the hornet will infect the bees instead of devouring them. Jae-hee jumps to Elder and holds him, hearing that. The infected bees will follow and act according to their hornet's purpose, which can be used to change the messages that bees are carrying. It seems like spam mail that infects the computer, but it's better than killing bees. Jae-hee allowed her to train the hornet with this skill. Loop said that she has to feed the hornets with anything that is not alive and comes from the world tree, including sap, berries, leaves, and bark. Hornet won't eat anything except the programmed things. Jae-hee gives the unripe berries to Loop to feed the hornets, as she has stocked them up. Now, Jae-hee needs to install the beehive in her wallet, which looks like a screen protector. Loop added the parasite to the female, and the male has been infected, so she can use the female to control the purpose of the parasite. The hornets are inserted in her wallet like a chip, while Jae-hee is afraid of the hornets. Jae-hee asked Loop about the matter of moving her family, but it can be done with the help of a merchant, as the way is full of dangers from the 59th terrarium. Jae-hee got the hornets, and she told her to leave. Jae-hee inserted the male hornet in her wallet and sent a message to Kaylin saying, "This is the one," and the male chip disappeared. Mesquite asked Jae-hee her next move, but it was to stay here, as Kaylin told them it's dangerous to leave earlier. She decided to visit the artifact workshop as Elder is upset and they have nothing to do for now. Jae-hee is expecting the workshop here to be better than that of the 26th terrarium. All the paths are designed to move the druids to the workshop. Jae-hee entered the terrarium, but the in-charge told her to return the larger dryads to her artifact to maintain the less crowded place. Jae-hee came here to cheer up Elder, but it seems to have turned out this way. She told Elder and Mesquite to return, but Elder became angry and asked questions, and when it came to Jae-hee seedlings, she became angry too, and they started fighting like children but stopped when others called them lovers and realized how embarrassing it seemed. Mesquite calms Jae-hee, said that she would take Eder in, and she said just a few words in his ear, and he came inside quietly. Jae-hee went into the first shop, which is for potions, and she is looking for a potion that will recover stamina. She asked the man about it, regardless of the price. Jae-hee is observing the surroundings, where some druids are discussing that they don't have sufficient diamonds and they should back the one and take another potion to utilize the coupon, which might be more cost-effective to purchase the mini potions. 2 druids are fighting due to a lack of funds, which seems to be a druid party to Jae-hee. Meanwhile, the man came back with the special potion that is expensive in the store which provides nutrients to the mother plant. In the meantime, a lady came out of nowhere and told the man that she knew that he had just added a bit of potion to the water. She also told him that the potion was expensive, but they needed to feed a huge amount of it to see the effect, and she preferred to buy traditional supplements from the orchard instead of buying them. Chapter 55. Jae-hee just got saved from being ripped off as the lady saved her, telling her the truth that this supplement one can get from orchard, and caught the lie of the man that the bottle is not a custom made of the alchemy tower as she saw it at another store. The lady warned the man that she would blacklist him for spreading false information. They came out of the place. Jae-hee is thinking of buying new equipment for herself, and she saw her again, who is telling her teammate that he is allowed to buy a pair of boots, but he has to starve tonight, and it doesn't make sense to change equipment for those who always attack from the back. Her teammate asked her to let him eat the hot food here as they have to survive on emergency rations as they leave the terrarium because they use their cash, whatever they earned by completing missions, and there are no more jobs as someone has already cleared the requests here. Jae-hee understands them as mercenaries who complete missions, but she thought she had completed the quest as well. She would also be called a mercenary. Meanwhile, a lady approached her and, in a slow voice, spoke to her. She asked if she was looking for something specific. Jae-hee told her that she wants equipment that is suitable for her. She recognizes Jae-hee as the beginner druid and asks her what kind of battles she prefers so that she can suggest equipment accordingly, but she says that she has never had any battles, except throwing diamonds from far away. Mostly, druids get into the battle, but it's better to step back if they find themselves not ready. She suggested to Jae-hee that leather is lighter compared to metal, but it also becomes heavy when the whole equipment is made of it, and she told him that they use cotton and put the leather in the weaker sections so the equipment feels comfortable. Jae-hee is watching the orange-haired lady who found the gloves that fit perfectly to her while her mate didn't get his size for the boots as the standard size fits him. Jae-hee asked the shopkeeper if she provided the gloves smaller than the standard size, and she did, as when a beginner druid came to her parents' shop, she started selling equipment for beginners, realizing the need. Jae-hee appreciates her work, but she said that her parents are not supportive because standard sizes sell more and she rarely gets orders for custom. Hence, her shop will soon merge with her parents' shop, and the sizes will be returned to standard as soon as the stock runs out. Jae-hee thanked the orange-hair lady and asked her if she doesn't mind if she buys her those gloves as she wants to boost the sales of the lady's store, but she is concerned, so she told her that she is the administrator of the 28th terrarium, but the lady has ethics, and she showed her kindness and thanked Jae-hee for her gratitude, but her team doesn't accept anything without working for it. Jae-hee got the idea to stock these items in her terrarium, as she will give the druids these items when the beginner druids arrive in the terrarium, regardless of the fact that the world tree can't produce berries. She wants to buy all the equipment, so she asked the shop owner, and she told him to talk to the administrator first. The orange-haired lady asked Jae-hee how she was going to move all the items she purchased to the 28th terrarium, and she hadn't thought of it. She asked Jae-hee if she needed druids to move these items so they could do this task for her. Her team is going to a higher number of terrariums, so it will be on their route. Jae-hee asked them if they were passing by the 59th terrarium by any chance, and she told them that they have to go to the 40th terrarium, but they will also visit the 59th terrarium if she gives them some time. Jae-hee can solve the loop matter also with the help of this team, and she asked them about the process through which they can hire them, which is just to share the details of the mission, including duration, reward. Jae-hee is feeling like an NPC, as she can give quests like the one who gave her. They went to the cafe, where a man welcomed her and told her that the administrator had already told her about her arrival in advance, as she had purchased a lot from their place, so they set up a special spot for them in the cafe. Jae-hee told the waiter to take out all the desserts as she was confused, which shocked the team. She asked Jae-hee if she had many requests, and Jae-hee wants them to move the items from the 18th terrarium to the 28th terrarium. Then she wants them to move Loop's family from the 59th terrarium to the 28th terrarium. She also needs help fighting a wild elder, and she also needs help recruiting people for her terrarium. She told Jae-hee that if she has many requests, then she should hire them as the official guild for the 28th terrarium so that they can take all the requests at once. Jae-hee wonders if it's possible though, and she says that once she hires them as the official guild, she can become the guild master. Plus, the 28th terrarium will be set as the guild place automatically if the administrator becomes the guild master. She told Jae-hee to look at her wallet, as she unlocked the information about them for her to have a look. Jae-hee connects to her terrarium network, and Stonehenge is formed, in which she sees that their team has 4 druids. She is Iris, the one with green hair is Zephyr, the black hat is Notos, and the one with a gray outfit is Herma. They all came from the 25th terrarium, and they have been working as a team since they were beginners. Jae-hee saw in her wallet that they had completed many different quests with a 100% completion rate. Jae-hee is concerned about the guild, so she asked her dryads through the thoughts conversation, and Red Daisy told her that the previous administrator also operated an official guild. The administrator assistant fulfilled the role of the guild master, who takes care of the missions and the security of the terrarium. Eventually, the administrator dismissed the assistant because he was not able to pay for the guild. To form a guild, Jae-hee needs to set a location where the guild members can gather and receive the mission. This place is called Stonehenge, but they don't have a place in the 28th terrarium. Jae-hee suggests using the previous administrator room for guild purposes temporarily. Mesquite told Jae-hee that she wanted to decide after meeting